A good evening from wherever you are joining us from. So I can see Okeze, I can see Nathaniel, and welcome everyone to today's session. I am Esther Genabrima. I'm a senior data associate at 10Alytics. So I have about 5 years experience deploying data science techniques to companies across Africa and Europe. So I want to officially welcome everyone to today's session because it is going to be very exciting and enlightening because there's one thing about Nigerians or Africans in general that we prefer, or we'll say seeing is believing. That is why we are having this session for everyone. So you come and hear from the horse's mouth. You come and hear from our students that have gone through this training program, and you see the growth that they've acquired, right? In the past couple of months, you see what they've been able to do, how they've grown from without a prior knowledge in their different tech stacks to effectively transitioning. So before I go on, can you hear me clearly? Hi, Mutsurayo, I can see you in the chat. So it's so nice to have you on the call. Can you hear me clearly? I need a message in the chat or a reaction from any of us. Can you hear me?
I can hear you cited to from Lagos here.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So thank you so much. Okay. So before we proceed, I just want us to do a little exercise. Let's get to know each other. Where are you joining us from? Are you in the UK? Are you in Nigeria? Are you in Kenya? Are you in Switzerland? Are you in Botswana? So let's have it because that's the interesting thing, right? We are all from different backgrounds, different societies, but for the purpose of learning, for the purpose of growth, we get to interact and commune with each other and learn from each other. So I can see Ibadan, Nigeria. I can see Lagos. I can see Abuja. I can see Lagos again. So that's nice. So I think we have Nigerians winning it here. Well, oh, Fred from Ghana. Mogbon Jobola from Abuja. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name well, but either way, welcome to today's session. And the thing is, I want us to listen because we'll be having our own participants come speak to you, all right? Come communicate with you and tell you about their experience. Yes, sometimes you might feel, oh, 10Alytics, Adeza, Efemina, Damilola, Brima, they are already professional. So I am just starting out. I don't really believe that, okay, in the next couple of months, I'll be able to acquire these skills. But we want you to come and hear directly from our participants so that you see that, yes, it is definitely possible. It's just for you to have the right guidance and then you'll be good to go. Okay, so moving forward, who we are at 10Alytics. So I can see GD, so I can hear you clearly from Onisha, Anambra State. So welcome to today's session. So before we proceed, who we are at 10Alytics, what do we do? So why do we have the right to come speak to you about this session, basically? So Kayode, I think if you cannot hear me clearly, you have to join in with your audio. Okay, so I think it has to do with your device. So moving forward, 10Alytics, we are an educational technological platform, and our goal is to ensure that we successfully help Africans, help people of the Black community transition from no prior knowledge into the different tech stacks that we offer. Okay, so that's like our motivation. That is our vision here at 10Alytics, because we have noticed that, oh, the Black community, we are not adequately represented, and there's so much opportunity for us to tap from because of the level of intelligence that we have. So that is our mission here at 10Alytics. And then we offer different courses varying from, okay, data analytics to business analysis to data engineering, data science, financial analytics, HR analytics, and then the Power Platform engineering program. So as I mentioned before, this session is going to be very interesting. I want you to listen and then learn from our participants too. Just give me a moment, let me mute this background noise. Okay, so moving forward, these are amazing founders. They are 10Alytics. Okay, so we have Adeza Suleiman and we have Efemina Ikpo. They have almost a decade experience, right, deploying data science technology. So you can see that you are coming to learn from professionals. You are coming to learn from persons that have gone through this process and are now geared towards ensuring that you effectively transition into the tech industry. So moving forward, I know from our previous sessions, you might have met them. So if you have not, so do follow up with any of our sessions. You will most definitely meet them, right? So moving forward, we have helped over 500 persons transition from having no prior knowledge. So you can see that we are tested and then we are trusted. So if you are telling yourself that, oh, I have a degree in medical sciences, I have a degree in economics or something entirely different from the tech industry, how exactly am I going to transition? So I am here to tell you that we are here for you at 10Alytics. So this is some of the achievements that we've had for the past year. All right, so you can see that we've had different hackathons. We've been published across different articles and papers, not just in Nigeria, but globally, to see that, okay, we are actually geared. Our purpose is to ensure that you effectively transition. Our purpose is to ensure that you will become a tech bro and a tech sis. Yes, so you get access to these slides and then you'll be able to, okay, click on the link and then have an overview of what we do here at 10Alytics. Okay, so moving forward, we had a scholarship for women early this year to promote inclusion because there is this thing that, oh, African ladies, they belong to the kitchen, they should not really be out there, but you can see that 10Alytics, we had to, okay, offer scholarship to over 300 women to ensure that they have access to these resources and thus lowering the barrier for women, okay, entering into tech. So I want to officially welcome us to this session. So I can see from the chat, we have, okay, Teka from India, we have Yinka from UK. So I want to welcome you once again to today's session. Okay, so moving forward, we have our participants on this call and I'll be calling them one after the other. So please, I would need you to raise up your hand because I can feel the enthusiasm here. There are a lot of persons that would really want to come and learn from you, that would really want to see if how has your experience been so far with 10Alytics? Are you really learning? And where were you before? Did you have like a previous knowledge before joining 10Alytics? So I'll need you to raise up your hands so I can make you a co-host because we have persons here that are very, very much enthusiastic to learn from you. All right, so we have Yetunde Taiwo. Okay, so let's start from. Okay, so we have Ilodigwe Solomon on the call. So hi, Solomon, a good evening to you. How are you doing?
Hello,
Can you hear me
Brahma. Good
clearly?
evening. Yes, I can hear you.
Hello. So it's so nice to have you join us this evening. How are you doing?
I'm fine. It's good to see you again.
Yeah, it's good to see you again too. So I will just be asking you like a couple of questions because I know that there are persons there that are very eager to hear you speak. All right, so I just want to know, how did you hear about 10Alytics? What has your experience been so far? So I think we should start from there.
My quest for skill, so to speak, I was an undergraduate intern in a manufacturing company here in Nigeria. So
Okay.
I had interest in data analytics, and I knew that, there was this buzz, there was this wave about tech, about, analytics and all of that. So for me, I was looking to transition into tech. I have a chemical engineering background. I studied chemical engineering in school.
Okay.
So generally, I was out for knowledge, as it were. As a Nigerian, typically an undergraduate, I don't have a lot of money. I was learning on my own with online resources, YouTube,
Okay.
Coursera, and what have you. So I didn't get structured learning per se. I would just get a course and buy a course, finish a course, and you don't know the next course you're buying is not a direct follow-up of the previous one you bought. So I was looking for where I would get that structured information, right? So I was doing a lot of research, and based on my research at the time, I was always having suggestions about courses to buy online, right? And then one of those days on Instagram, I ran into 10Alytics ad, and what stood out for me was the curriculum offered, right? When I went through the brochure, I was excited, to start the journey. Because looking at the curriculum alone, you would see that you're going to be covering a lot of tools. You're going to be doing a lot of hands-on practical experience. There are also market exposure. You're going to be taught the tricks as to how you land your first job and all of that. So quickly, I knew this was like a one-fits-all program. This was the best place for me to invest my small money and get maximum return for that investment, right? So that was it. That was literally it. And today, I would say that I've covered the course. I bought 2 courses. I took 2 trainings with 10Alytics. I took the full stack data science, and I took the financial analytics, and it has been nothing short of amazing. I landed my first job before I even finished the financial analytics at the time. So I would say that I'm enjoying the dividend of the investment I made in full.
Yes, yeah.
All right, because it cannot get better than this, landing a job. And I was literally doing my final year. Sorry about that. I was literally doing my final year clearance, and I had an offer letter in my hand. I was like,
wow.
would you just clear me? I have somewhere to resume,
Yes.
So it felt really good. The facilitators were amazing. They did a thorough job in giving us the skill, and as soon as I resumed from day one, I hit the ground running, and I was already offering value. So for me, it's one of the best decisions I made last year. If I were to go back out, I think I would make that decision more than once. So it's been awesome.
Okay, so one last question. What would you recommend for those trying to transition? Because you mentioned that you have a background in engineering, and that's completely unrelated. That's not computer science, that's not computing, or that's not data analytics for your undergraduate degree. So what advice would you have for persons that are thinking of transitioning, but then they are still having this thought of, can I actually do this? Do I need to go back to school and then read computer science and also? That's my last question for you.
And so for me, I would say transitioning really starts from having that curiosity, right? To say, oh, what is out there for me? What do I really want to do? Once you get to that point, you're able to double down on exactly what you want. Take the time, to exactly narrow. For me, I knew I wanted to leave chemical engineering that was more niche. I wanted to move to something more strategic, where I would see the business from a broader sense of view. Right. So I already had that definition of what I want, so that when you go out there seeking for information, you know what you want when you see it, So for me, I really I defined what my need was at the time. More so, after finding your need, just go for knowledge. Just ignore every other knowledge. Bury yourself in acquiring knowledge, getting the skill, knowing for sure what you want to undertake. Grab all those skills, learn it, and know your game, know your stuff. Right? It is after then that, trust me, the transition will become a lot easier. Right? And when you get an opportunity, you'd be able to prove yourself and deliver on the opportunity. When I was being hired for a financial analytics role, because I'm currently a financial analyst,
Yes, yes.
when I was being interviewed, there was the concern about, oh, you have a chemical engineering background. Why do you want to make a switch? What's going on and all of that, right? Aside just giving them that conviction and being able to convince them that, oh, I know financial analytics. When I got into the job, I could show workings. Yeah, I was
That's from
given
your
tasks,
project.
and right from the first task, I was delivering because I'd buried myself. 10Alytics had polished me and brushed me up. So
Yes.
yeah, I did my homework, right? So I could prove that, hey, I know what I'm doing when I said I want to do financial analytics for you, even if I have a chemical engineering background. So it's very important to three things for me. One is define what you really want to transition into. Take the time, because I mean, it's where you want to navigate your next phase of life. So it's only fair that you take time to do your research and define what you really want. The second for me would be, after defining your need, you need to just bury yourself in that knowledge. Take the time, learn the skill, know it. If you want to be a data analyst, know that you know data analysis, right? I'm not saying that you have to be perfect, but at least you're going to be learning as you continue, you gain experience, you take projects, you're going to be learning by the way. But fundamentals, brush yourself up so that when you get that transition opportunity, you'd be able to prove for sure, you'd be able to show dividend to say, hey, this is why I want to transition and I can really do this stuff going forward, right?
Yes. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing, Solomon. So one last thing, right, before you go. So how is your day like, right, your current job as a financial analyst coming from a completely different background? Was there like an ease of transition? So just give us like a hint for those that are curious. What exactly does a financial analyst do?
Okay, so for me, I would say what really gave me that ease of transitioning was learning, right? Knowing and understanding the skill what financial analytics is. And that wouldn't have been possible, to be honest, without the training that I had at 10Alytics. It was a comprehensive package, right? From how to even approach solving problems, to deploying you with how to think, to deploying you with the skills, learning tools, and all of that. It was a really comprehensive package, and that really prepared me such that when I got into my role, there was nothing I was seeing here that I've not seen before in class, in the projects we've done on. So that training for me made transitioning very easy, to be very honest. And I work in Lagos, Nigeria. Anybody that knows Lagos, Nigeria would know how crazy it is out here. But we wake up every morning, we show up at work and we deliver. That's just what it is.
Okay, so thank you so
I want
much.
to know what's the name of that gentleman.
Okay, so Solomon, I think some persons want to connect with you. So if it's possible to share your LinkedIn profile so you can connect with them. And let me mention, if you do have any questions, you can raise up your hand or send it to the chat. So thank you so much for taking out time to join us in today's session. So I really picked up what you said. Define what you really want to do, and then bury yourself in acquiring knowledge and in that learning process. So thank you so much for joining us in today's session. And it's nice to have you on the call. So that will be all from my end. All right.
It's always nice to have you.
Yes. So bye. So I hope that we are learning, we can hear clearly from our participants, because it's not just about you learning a tech skill, but you learning a skill that is relevant. That's one. And there's ease of transition from your background, from your prior knowledge, your background in, let's say, physics, mathematics, economics, or whatsoever your undergraduate or formal, work industry was, but ease of transition to the tech industry. And I really did jot down the points that I mentioned, so I can re-emphasize on that. One, define what you really want to learn. Because if you notice, we have series of master classes for you to come and understand and learn what is really expected of me as a data analyst. What do I need to do as a data scientist? What is required as a HR analyst? What is required as a Power Platform engineer? Okay, so if you are even still confused, we have clarity sessions for you that you can come and then discuss with us and then understand. So this is the particular tech stack that I am going to be investing my time and investing my resources for the next couple of months. So number one, define what you really want to learn, then bury yourself in knowledge and work on projects. So what he mentioned again, so you can hear clearly from our participants that everything he was saying in his current job was exactly what he did in class. Why? Because he worked on projects. All of our programs are project-centered because any recruiter that's coming to meet you would really want to know, what have you done? How are we sure that you can deliver? And then when you show them the couple of projects that you've worked on, what you've created, and all the analysis that you have done, they'll be very convinced that you are the right person for the job. So thank you once again, Solomon. So Solomon registered for the financial analytics program and then the data science program also. So I'll be moving on to our next participants. We have participants across all our programs coming to speak to you. And as I mentioned before, jot things down. It is high time that you take that step into the next direction and invest in yourself. So I'll be calling Yetunde Taiwo. So hi, Yetunde, a good evening or a good afternoon, depending on where you're joining us from. How are you doing? Hi.
I'm fine, thank you. It's a good evening.
Okay, good evening to you. How are you doing?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm very well. Thank you so much for joining us on the call.
It's a pleasure here.
Okay, so I have a couple of questions to ask you because we have 172 persons on this call eagerly waiting to listen to you. Okay, so how did you hear about 10Alytics? That's one. And what prompted you to register for 10Alytics? And how has your experience been so far? So that's the first set of questions that I'll be asking you this evening.
Okay. All right. Let me start by saying my name is Yetunde Taiwo, and I currently stay in the UK. And prior to this time, all my life I've been a teacher in Nigeria, and here also in the UK I've been practicing as a teacher. But you know, it gets to a time you'll be like, I need more for myself. Even though I actually have an engineering background, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Okay. So I have an engineering background, but I've never practiced. So being a teacher here also in the UK, at a point I just knew I needed to move further. And at that point, I wasn't really sure of what I wanted, but I knew I wanted something like tech. So, and I remember when I was coming to the UK for my master's, I was told, okay, when I was coming to the UK for my master's, then someone told me like, why can't you do data science, data analytics and all of that? So I'm like, no, I don't want to do anything coding. I'm not sure I can cope and all of that. That is going to be embarrassing if I can, you know, I had a lot of fear and all of that. So after everything, so at a point I was like, I think I need to just go for this tech. So I started learning on my own, just like Solomon did. I started learning on my own on YouTube. Well, I wasn't really making any headway. Just like he said, it wasn't structured, and so it was just there. So I met someone who told me like, so I told the person, is this something I can learn on my own and all that? I said no, that I should look for maybe an agency or something to teach me. So I saw a few adverts and all of that, but I wasn't really sure of what to go with. So I think I saw 10Alytics on LinkedIn. So I decided to give it a shot. And I told one of my mentors, like, look at this place. What do you think about this? I'm not hearing you.
Can you hear you clearly?
Okay.
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
So I asked my mentor if he knows anything about 10Alytics, if I should go with it. So he said, yes, 10Alytics is a very good place for you to go, this and that. And he really encouraged it, because I have some tech friends like that. So I asked another person, what do you think about 10Alytics? And looking at the money, it's lower compared to a lot of other ones I've seen. So I was like, £300 is a lot of money, and I don't want to waste it, even though it is really, really cheaper compared to every other ones. Okay, so he told me I should go ahead. So, and that was how I came into 10Alytics. And the good thing is, when I was doing that, I also have a friend who joined another program who is also into data analytics. So we would always compare things we're doing. We would always compare, this is what we're doing here, this is what we're, and at a point we both agreed, like, babe, you're just lucky. 10Alytics just did it for me, because in my own case, we had a lot for every app or whatever, there is always case study. And so if we're learning, let's say in Excel, when we were learning about not just learning the functions like if function and all of that, like she was doing, we had case studies where we could apply those things. And then it was really, really nice for me. And even my friend was like, oh, I wish I could. She paid more, but I got more value. Do you understand? So
yes,
yeah,
I do.
that was a top notch for me. Yeah. So that's
okay.
I can't remember if any other question. Maybe we just take it.
Okay, wait.
Yeah.
Do you have any projects for us to see that you want to showcase?
Yes. Okay, let's see. Okay,
let's see.
Show. Okay.
Yes. So you can go ahead and share your screen.
Okay. Yeah. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen clearly.
Okay. All right. This was actually one of the case studies we had. And so I'll just run it through for us in a couple of minutes. And so I titled this, and I titled it Improved Learning Experience for Students Through Recreational Activities. Okay, so I'll just give us a background of what it's all about. Okay, so sorry. Okay, so this case study is actually from a school called King's Guide. So King's Guide is an educational institution that strives to provide transformative learning experience for their students, ensuring they reach their highest potential. So this presentation focuses on the significance of providing recreational activities for students and its impact on students' academic and professional pursuits. Additionally, it leverages the patterns and behaviors observed during leisure time. Okay, so there is a school called King's Guide, and their intention is to see how they could actually help their students to become better in terms of their academics and also in terms of their future professional pursuits. And we've got this data, and it's my responsibility as a data analyst to look into the patterns of and behaviors observed during the recreational activities of these students. Okay. And so what's the objective of this particular project? The objective is, one, to identify meaningful patterns, to enhance the learning experience of students, and to promote a class-leading educational environment. And to be able to do this, there are some certain skills that are required, which I obtained from 10Alytics. So data manipulation and analysis, data visualization, dashboard design, data storytelling, and data optimization. So it's not just about you being able to know those functions. You should be able to do so much more with those functions. So it's not just about you having data sets. You should be able to tell a story such that your audience will be able to understand. Anyone can relate with it. And these are skills that I learned from 10Alytics. Okay, so data storytelling and data optimization. So after you've gotten all of this data, how do you want this school to improve? So that's the end goal, and that's what this is. My presentation is basically all about. Okay. And here is my dashboard. So this dashboard was done with Tableau. Okay, so Tableau was used to create this, and it's okay. This is my link. So I'll just take us to my dashboard so that we can actually interact with it and be able to understand exactly what all this means. Okay. Just a moment. I'll stop, then share my Tableau public.
Entire screen.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen clearly.
Okay. And can everyone hear me, please?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Yes, you can.
All right. So this dashboard is for King's Guide Student Leisure Activity Dashboard. And for this particular study, it was basically done on 20 students. So that's why we have 20. That's the total number of students. Now for these 20 students, they had different activities. So we added all the activities done by these 20 students, and the total is 1,578.
Okay.
Now, having done this, we discovered that the time of the day that the students uses to engage in this activity affects their academics. And also, we also discovered that the type of activities involved in by the students also has a connection with their academic performance. All right, so now here, I'm just going to be focusing on, I'm going to be making a comparison between the student that had excellent grades and those that had good or average grades, okay, so that we can actually understand it. All right, now looking at the students, this board is an interactive one, so we'll be able to understand. So now clicking here, we have total number of students out of the 20 students that had excellence is 6, which is a mixture of 3 boys and 3 girls. Okay, now, and these 6 students, they got engaged in 346 activities in total. And looking at the number of activities by time of day, you find out that most of these activities for these excellent students was actually done in the afternoon.
In the afternoon.
Okay, now looking at here where we have game category by school performance, okay, this is what tells you what's their performance, academic performance. Okay, so we have, out of these 6, they do board games, sport games, and video games. And most of these excellent students, they participated more in the board games. Now, there's something called level of detail, which is down here. Now, this helps us to have more understanding of what these students really do. Now, here, when you look at this where we have number of students by number of activities. Here. Now, you're going to see the first one where we have 1, and we have on the y-axis, we have 4. So this tells you that for this number of activities is just 1, and 4 out of the 6 excellent students participated in this activity. So 4 students will only do 1 activity in a day, and these students are excellent students. We have 1 of them that do 30 activities, and there's 1 that does 312 activities. And looking at the last one where we have trend of number of activities across the week, here you're going to see that there's a rise in the trend, and it tells you that most of the students, their activities is usually on Thursday. Okay, so this is just a brief understanding of what the excellent students do. Now I'm going to be comparing this with the students that are the average students.
Okay, so before you proceed, right, I just want to ask, do you have like a prior knowledge? Because I am amazed. You are speaking like a professional. That is so yes, and I'm like, wow, this is amazing. This is amazing. And the interesting thing is, you do not have to have a background, let me use it that way, a background in computer science or in data science or in data analytics. It doesn't matter. All right. So we heard from Solomon, he had like an engineering background. It was about graduating. So the same with Yetunde, she had engineering background, but she was working in the educational industry, and you can clearly see what she is doing. So I feel if we can be on this call for like a couple of hours, and you'll be explaining and providing us with insights.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I'll just leave you to go on for a while so you can proceed.
Okay. All right. So I never had any Tableau. The truth is, I heard about Tableau for the first time during 10Alytics. So I have no idea. And I was actually thinking it's something that is going to be very difficult.
Very
But
hard.
in 2 weeks, this is 2 weeks, guys. This is 2 weeks. I got this knowledge in 2 weeks. Don't mind me. I'm so excited about it because, you know, they say knowledge intoxicates. So I'm intoxicated. So that's just the same. 2 weeks, I got this. All right. So looking at the average students, I clicked on here. Now look at it. The average students, the total number of activities they got engaged in is 938. Remember, the excellent students, theirs were just 300 and thereabouts. So for the average student, they had 938. And we have 8 out of the 20 students were average students. Now, when you look at the number of activities by time of the day, you find out that most of the average students, they get engaged in the evening and in the morning, which is like the reverse. For the excellent student, they get engaged mostly in the afternoon, but for the average students, it's in the morning and it's in the evening. Okay, so that's giving us a kind of insight like, okay, could it be the time of the day that is affecting the students? Could it, okay, so let's just keep going. And when you look at the game category by school performance, you find out that the average students, very few of them play board games compared to the excellent students, where most of them are actually involved in board games. Now, the games that the average student gets involved in more is video games, which is the reverse. It's like the opposite for the excellent students. You know, when you're doing this, is making you kind of think like, could this be the reason? You kind of begin to question.
Why did this happen?
So these are like the problem solving skills that we learned during the training, because anytime we're having anything in class, when we have classes, the facilitator, God bless him, he would always say, are you seeing what I'm seeing? Then you just have to see it like, okay, this could be the reason, this could be what is happening. Okay, so the average students, they are mostly involved in video games.
I cannot really hear you again, Faye. Sorry, Yetunde, I cannot really hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Okay. All right. So looking at the level of detail here, remember for the excellence that we had just 6 of them, and these 6 of them, 4 of them get involved with one activity in a day. Now look at the average students. We have 8 of them. 1 of them is just 1. There's another one that plays 20 activities in a day. There's another one that plays 38 activities in a day. There is another one that plays 66 activities in a day. There is another one that plays 74, 138, 280, 321. Are you seeing what I'm saying? So that is what is happening with the average students compared with the excellent students. Okay. Now look at the trend of activities across the week. More on Wednesdays and Saturday. So looking at this as a data analyst, you begin to wonder, okay, could it be the time of the day? Could it be the number of activities they get involved? Is it like the frequency? Is it because they do this in the morning? And these are skills, these are things you learn. And I never knew all of this before now, sincerely.
So thank you so much, Yetunde. This has been eye-opening. This is really, really interesting. And to think that you got this in just 2 weeks. Wow. I think I'm clapping for you at this rate. All right. So before you go, because you've done amazingly well, I believe that participants on this call are extremely excited by how well you were able to not just create your visual, but how you are able to communicate this and understand why exactly or what exactly your data is trying to communicate. So before you go, what advice do you have for anyone on this call thinking that, oh, I really want to venture into tech, but I don't know if I'll be strong enough, or I have the background, or I don't know if I'll be able to do this. So what advice would you give to them?
One, you're strong enough, you're good enough, you're able with 10Alytics by your side. That's one. Because actually, I never really felt I could do this. I have people that are in tech, and I have people that, so when I do some of these things, I send it over like, hope I'm still on they'll be like, wow, you've done this, and it's really, really good. So you can actually do this. Okay. And one of the good things that make 10Alytics really, really interesting for me, we used to have a mentorship period, and this mentorship program is the time that many of the you see Adeze and Efemine and every other person, they come and tell you, they come and encourage you. Then we used to have interview period. Oh my God. You get to be on the hot seat. Yes, that's really interesting. So if you're the type that you're like, how do I handle my interview and all of that, we usually have this period where we all come around, you practice, you do all of those drilling. And besides the general one, if you have, maybe you have an upcoming interview like myself, you can book ahead and you will be interviewed. You'll be there's someone that's going to go through your CV with you, prepare you for the job, so that when you go there, your confidence level is really, really high. So which is really, really a good thing for me, which is one of the plus for 10Alytics. So then we also have presentations like this. We have group work where you meet other participants, so you're not alone, where you can also kind of have this long-term relationship bonding with people, and people that are like you. So it's not like you're lost, you feel you're lost in the whole world alone. There's always someone in the group like, guy, I'm struggling with this. There's someone that says, okay, help me out, I can do this. So which is really, really like this accountability, people calling you, where are you? Have you done this? And which is really, really good, because sometimes I feel this is not something you can just do on your own. And thank God, 10Alytics kind of provides the platform for you to be able to have that kind of relationship with others. So if you're thinking about it, jump in. It's a good ride for you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, Yetunde. Thank you for your time. And thank you for presenting. This was very, very inspiring. All right. So thank you once again, and have a lovely evening.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Bye.
Yeah,
yeah, you're welcome. So I can see a question in the chat. Was this training online or was it physical? It's all our trainings are virtual. Okay, so from wherever you are, from the comfort of your home, you are able to take classes and then acquire this knowledge. That's the amazing thing. And you have facilitators here to guide you and direct you. So there's one thing we hammer on here at 10Alytics. It's not just you acquiring the tech skills. No, there's the other 50% for you to, okay, how to position yourself, how to speak to a recruiter, how you can effectively communicate your insights. So you saw how confident Yetunde was speaking in the presence of over 180 persons. That is what we teach you and what we educate you on here at 10Alytics. So before we call on the next participant, we have the founder of 10Alytics here on this call. So hi, Adeza, a good evening. How are you doing this evening?
Yeah. Hello, Brima. Good evening. How are you doing today?
I'm very well.
All right. I've been enjoying the session. But I just had to speak after I listened to Yetunde. Her presentation was fantastic. And I was going to ask Yetunde, I don't know if you could come back for a few seconds. When did you join? I would love to know when you joined. I'm not sure I caught it. I had to leave and then I joined later on. Or Brima, did you catch when Yetunde?
No, I did not.
I joined. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
I joined the May cohort.
May. That's absolutely fantastic. I was spellbound listening to you Yetunde. That was absolutely brilliant. Well done for that fantastic presentation. And this simply shows that it really doesn't matter Okay, just like Yetunde, who was a teacher, who was in education, making that switch and making the transition eventually. Anybody can also make the switch. And these are the type of questions we always get. And one of the things I also try to let people know is you have that unique opportunity to learn a skill that will enable you compete for the best jobs available out there. If you're in Nigeria, if you're in Ghana, if you're in South Africa, if you're in the US, if you're in the UK, right? So again, I'm looking forward to when Yetunde will tell us that I've gotten my first job in the UK as a data analyst, a teacher making the transition. We've had a couple of transition stories, a baker transition into business analysis, a medical doctor becoming a data analyst, a lawyer also transitioning to data analytics, and so many, fantastic stories like that. Would love to get Yetunde's on in a very short while. So well done, brilliant job, Yetunde. All right. And for those who would have questions about what the program entails, my colleagues are on the call with you. Send your questions to the chat and you'll get somebody to respond to those questions. Again, if you want to receive the recording after this session this evening, ensure that you fill the attendance form. Okay, so if you fill the attendance form, you'll receive the recording, you'll receive the slides, and all the materials we'll be sharing today. So Brima, I'll leave it to you, and I'll just sit back and listen and enjoy the session myself. All right.
Okay, so thank you so much. Thank you so much, Adeza. So Adeza is the founder of 10Alytics. So I think I mentioned him during the introduction. All right. So we've had the chance to hear him speak and learn from him. So one thing that we do emphasize on here at 10Alytics is just come and be ready to learn. So irrespective of your background, irrespective of, okay, what you've done previously, which industry that you've worked on, we are here and we'll provide you with the right guidance and direction. Okay, so moving forward, I mentioned earlier that we have participants across all of our training programs coming to speak to you. So I'll be taking Oluwasayo Akinkunmi. I believe I'm pronouncing your name clearly. So Sayo, hi, how are you doing?
Hi, Brima. Good evening.
Hello, a good evening.
Can you hear
me? Yes, I can hear you clearly, but can we see you?
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
can you see me now?
Yes, I can see you clearly. So just give me a moment. Let me spotlight. Yes. So we can see you clearly. Thank you so much for joining us in today's session.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Okay, so you're registered for the data engineering program. I just have a couple of questions that I would need to ask you. All right, so are you ready?
Yeah,
okay,
right.
So moving forward, it's just very, very easy for those persons that are seeking to transition into tech. One, how did you get to know about 10Alytics, and how has your experience been so far? How was your ease of transition from, okay, let me ask first of all, what was your previous background like? What was your undergraduate degree, or what industry were you working in?
Yeah, so I have a background in physics. I studied physics at the University of Lagos, right? So I started my journey into tech basically in 2019,
okay.
right? So, I was really interested in getting into artificial intelligence, machine learning, and all that. That was 2019, right? So Python became my language of interest, right? Because Python is mostly used for in that domain, right? But I realized many companies in Nigeria back then, at least from my knowledge, were not really into AI, machine learning, and all that, right? So I basically had to start doing web development with Python, right? So that's basically my background, just using Python to build, APIs, and little front end, little websites and all that. yeah, so that's my background. And I think around that time I started seeing 10Alytics online, Instagram, on I think LinkedIn as well. I
LinkedIn,
think
yeah.
10Alytics are just data science and data. So I don't know, I really wanted to join back then, right? Because I was looking at since my interest was in AI, data, and all that. So I was looking at starting data science, but for some reason, I couldn't, right, for some reason. But, I saw the consistency of 10Alytics, right? I saw a couple of hackathons that took place, and I even joined some of those hackathons where like people did, some analysis on data presented and even won like really good prizes. So, though I didn't participate then, but I was just really amazed at, how what 10Alytics was doing for the tech community. So then I think there was another hackathon last year where it was then announced that there is going to be a data engineering cohort, right? So
Yes.
yeah, and I looked at the curriculum and it was like I didn't have a choice. It's really aligned with my interests, right? So yeah, it was a no-brainer for me to just like enroll for the course. So my course was actually that course was the first data engineering course for 10Alytics, which I joined. And yeah, that's how my journey with 10Alytics began. And
Okay.
what was the other question?
How has your experience been so far? How's your experience been so far with
Yeah,
10Alytics?
so I mean, it's been, really good. 10Alytics has a project-driven approach of teaching, right? Which I think is the most important thing for me because we worked on a lot of projects. We did things relating to web scraping, right? So, so probably I should explain what's the basic job of a data engineer, right?
Okay.
And so as the data engineer, you are basically concerned with moving data from one source to a destination, right? And well, you might say, well, that doesn't sound so interesting. What's so special about moving data from one point to another? But the interesting thing is that the data can appear in different formats, right? So you can have the data in structured, mostly unstructured formats, right? And you can have semi-structured as well. And you could be pulling data from different like varieties of sources. It could be a website, just like the web scraping I talked about. Or it could be sensor generated data, right? So you can have sensors mounted on some truck somewhere and sending data to a, I don't know, to a data lake or something, right? So and after pulling the data, you have to worry about like, okay, transforming the data, making it in a suitable format such that it can easily be digested to the data stakeholders that actually need the data. And the stakeholders could include data scientists or machine learning engineers and, and all that. So it's a really interesting field. You are going to be working with infrastructure a lot, which is something I enjoy doing. Right? So during the program, apart from Python, we're taught how to make use of VS Code, of course, which is the environments where you actually write your code, right?
Yes.
Also, we did a couple of things on AWS, right? Because the thing is, when you write your code, if you want people to be able to access the results of your code, right, you won't store that locally. You need somewhere to deploy your code, right? So that
Others can learn.
Yeah, the data can be pulled from a variety of sources and can be made available to anyone that needs to access it, right? And AWS is a very fantastic cloud service provider that gives you all the tools to do that. And you could even secure the data, right, in such a way that, okay, only a set of people have access to it.
Access, yeah.
Those were the
Yeah.
things we actually like taught during the program.
Yeah.
So we're using, as a data engineer, just if there's anything you would take from this program, as a data engineer, basically you'll be building pipelines, right? And the pipelines is just like the sequence of steps your data has to go through from source to destination. And it's a very interesting field. It's very rich. You get to work with different technologies. You get to, apart from writing Python, another language you get to learn, even though most people don't see this as a language, is bash scripting, right? So you get to be familiar with the command line a lot. So basically you are not so different from someone that is building a software, right? It's just that yours is now focused on data, which is really interesting. So yeah, that's I don't know if that all your questions.
Thank you so much, Sayo. So the last one before you go, what advice do you have for persons seeking to transition into data engineering, but then they're scared of either their background or if they'll be able to actually learn or acquire this skill? So what advice do you have for them?
So I would say, it's okay to be scared, right? It's okay to have a bit of doubts that can I do this thing or not? But the advice I have for someone like that is just, if you know that's your interest, right? Just get started, right? You'll always figure out ways to navigate any challenges, along the way, because honestly, we need to experience challenges in order to grow, right? So it's not going to be just a like walk in the park, something so easy. And that's why you have 10Alytics, right? So 10Alytics actually has a very good curriculum, and they have people in place to assist you in during your journey. And even after the program, right? Like I still, my manager, Ebele, I don't know if she's on the call, but they are actually able to guide you in case you have any issues. Right? So just really don't be scared. Don't be scared. There's really it's a normal thing to feel that okay, I might not be able to do this, but you actually can, right? I can use myself as an example. When I started, so learning things like Git, which is also something we were taught by the way during the program. Learning things like Git was like a bit difficult for me at first, right? But after actually working on projects, and that's another thing I would advise, don't shy away from projects. Any projects you are given to work on, just do everything within your capacity to work on that project, because that's where you actually get to learn. You might watch a video, you can watch countless videos on YouTube, but it won't really mean anything until you actually like use what you've learned on a project, right? So please, embrace projects, and I'm sure you'll be fine, really. You'll be fine.
Okay, so thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sayo. Thank you for taking out time to join us on the call and share your experience. All right,
Thanks
so it was nice. Yeah, it was nice having you join us.
Yeah, thank you. Bye, everyone.
You're welcome. Okay, so before we proceed, I can see a couple of questions that we've been sending into the chat. So I'll be officially welcoming Damilola. We've had Adeza speak, the founder of 10Alytics. So we'll be hearing from Damilola. Right, she is the head of trainings here at 10Alytics. So hi, Damilola, how are you doing this evening?
Hi, Brima. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hi, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning from wherever you're joining from. If you can hear me clearly, please give me a thumbs up. I want to know if you can hear me clearly. And if you, of course, if you've been enjoying what we have going on, also give me a thumbs up. You know, if you're learning, you're enjoying, give me a thumbs up as well. Nobody's responding. I won't continue if I don't get a lot of thumbs up. Okay. Okay, so let's keep it going. Welcome. Now, I've been seeing a lot of questions in the chat. I'm new. How do I get started? I don't know how to do this. Put me through. I don't know how to choose. And that's what I'm going to be taking you through right now. So you've heard people come speak. You've heard Taiwo. You've heard Solomon. And you've heard that they didn't even have any experience at all. So if you're here and you don't have any experience, that's fine. Just inhale and exhale, okay? You are in the right place. So I'm going to bring up my screen now, and then I'm going to explain to you one by one every single thing that you can get started with, every single tech career that you can get started with. So let me know if you can see my screen. Yes, so if you have to open your brain, if you can do it. All right. So that's our mantra here at 10Alytics. You can. Okay. So let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen, Damilola.
All right. Thank you very much, Adeza. So now moving forward, we have what are the tech career opportunities in 2023? Now listen, this is just August. It is not too late to get started. Okay, so don't think, oh, this year is gone, it's too late, it's going to take me a year. I've heard people say it's a year before they can get started. No, that's a big no. Okay, so you need to take that off your dictionary, of your sentence. You don't necessarily have to take a long one here to get a job in tech. This is something that you can do. You heard Solomon, right? So we bought Ed Solomon. It was not even done with his program before he got a job. Okay. So if you want to get into it, this is something that you need to embark on as soon as possible. All right. Now, what are the things that we at 10Alytics have looked at before compiling the programs that we offer? What are the things that we looked at? Number one, we looked at ease of learning. Now, that simply means that you can be in the comfort of your home and learn. This is not something that you have to carry book and be going up and down or something. This is something that you can sit in the comfort of your home and learn. You don't have to get in the bus. You don't have to get in one special class with a lot of noise, with a lot of eat and so on and so forth. So number one is ease of learning. You can easily get into it. You don't necessarily have to have, I've heard people say, I don't have science background, I don't have engineering background, I don't do this, I don't do that. No, I'm speaking here. I was an art student. All right. So I do not have, when it comes to mathematics, I can't even, I feel like some people here are like way better than I am. But look at me today. I'm a tech lady, right? So you don't necessarily have to have any science background or engineering or whatever before you can get started in tech. So that's number one, ease of learning. Number two, ease of transitioning. These are programs that you can transition into from anywhere. We have students. We used to have a lady, one of our alumni students. She is a baker. All right. So what she does for a living is bake cake. But now she's a data analyst in the UK. So ease of transition, you don't necessarily have to have one like huge background or whatever, or come from a very gigantic, how people like sugarcoat things these days. Okay, so ease of transitioning and ease of getting a job. Like I said earlier, the lady, she bakes, when she was in Nigeria, even when she was in UK, but she joined 10Alytics and now she's a data analyst in the UK. So number one, ease of transitioning, ease of learning. Number two, ease of transitioning. Number three, high and rewarding salaries. So at the end of the day, you don't want to have to go through everything, learning and staying up at night and doing all of those stuff and not get high and rewarding salaries. So we want to ensure that after going through every single one of these programs, you are getting value. You're getting, let's say, for example, you pay 1 million. You want to ensure that you're getting 2 million per month at the end of Okay, at the end of it all, so ease of learning, ease of transitioning, and number 3, high and rewarding salary. Now, what are these programs that we are talking about? What are these programs that we are talking about? Number 1, we have these various career paths here. We have the business analysis. The business analysis. Now, number 2, we have data analytics. Number 3, we have financial analytics. Number 4, we have HR analytics. Number 5, we have full stack data science. Number 6, we have data engineering. And number 7, lastly, the last but not the least, we have power platform engineer. Okay, so we have these 7 programs here, but then I'm going to break it down. All right, so what am I going to be doing in each program? If that's what you're asking now, I am going to break it down. Now, at 10Alytics, we are very keen on ensuring that people, regardless of their backgrounds, are able to get into the tech role or tech career path that they want. So we offer no code and code programs. If you're somebody you don't, like I said earlier, I'm going to keep hammering on it again, you don't have any science background, it does not matter, because we have programs that cater to people in that line. You don't necessarily have to do Python or do HTML before you can get into tech, right? Starting with business analysis, number 1, it requires no code. You don't have to code at all. All right. So it does not require you, doing no coding at all. So business analysis, number 1, no code. What are the skills that you're going to be learning? You're going to be learning SQL, that is structured query language, Power BI, and Excel, right? So of course, some people will say, oh, is that not what they learn in data analytics? But we want to ensure that you, as a business analyst, you're able to stand on your own as a business analyst, so much so that when you get a job somewhere, you don't necessarily have to have a data analyst before you can do your job. Of course, in companies, they would have business analysts, they would have data analysts. So it does not really matter if you don't have. So basically, we just ensure that you have the knowledge of analytics before you go into business analysis, so that if at any point in time, maybe you are even somebody who you're not working under anybody, you're just freelancing, right? You're a consultant, a business analysis consultant. You are able to stand on. You don't have to start looking for a data analyst to analyze your data for you. That is why we have SQL, Power BI, and Excel as part of our business analysis package. Okay, so you're going to be learning basics and how to query data using SQL, right? You're going to be learning how to build dashboards, a couple of DAX functions. If I'm saying a lot of English, don't worry. It does not matter. Okay, so a couple of DAX functions, these are data analysis expressions in Power BI, and then you're going to be working on Excel as well, how to make sense of your data. And I can tell you for a fact that being a business analyst alone without these analytics tools in your toolkit is fine, but being a business analyst with these analytics tools in your toolkit stands you out. It makes you stand out. All right, so if I'm let's say I work as a talent manager and I'm looking for a business analyst, and I see the CV of somebody who is just there, you don't have any experience with SQL, you don't have any experience with Power BI, you've never used Excel before, and I see somebody that has actually used these things, of course I will want to go with the person that has the experience using these tools, because if at any point the data analyst makes some kind of mistake, this person can always, of course the business analyst can always correct it. So that is why we have SQL, Power BI, and Excel as part of our business analysis package. Then moving to the next thing, you're going to be learning process mapping, how to map out processes in Excel. As a business analyst, using Microsoft Visio, using Draw.io, and so on and so forth. Of course, you're going to be working with stakeholders. You're going to be working with CEO and executives. So you're going to be the one that is at the core. A business analyst is the person that is at the core of the business, right? So you know everything about the business. You're constantly chatting with the stakeholders, the executives. You're also in constant chats with the technology team. These are the devs, the front-end developers, the back-end people, and so on and so forth. All right. So you're going to be mapping out the processes of the company. Okay, this is the first step that we take. This is the next step, and so on and so forth. And this is what you're going to be learning how to process map using various tools. Then you would move to project initiation planning. Of course, as a business analyst, you're going to be planning a lot of projects. You're going to be at the core of every project that is happening in that company. So of course you want to know how to like plan your project. Everybody can plan, but basically it takes like core skills to be able to plan and execute perfectly and see results. Okay, so you're going to be learning how to plan projects and initiate and execute these projects. We are going to be learning Agile and Scrum for project as well, how to use Agile tools, Scrum tools for projects. We're going to be learning software development cycle, that is SDLC. We're going to be learning requirements fundamentals, elicitation, stakeholder analysis, and engagement. And I know we've not taken the BA person, that is somebody from BA is here to speak, and you're going to be learning from his experience as well. Okay, so these are the things that you're going to be learning in the business analysis program. Now, what is the salary range? Now, these salaries that we have here, we're just being modest because, of course, if you go out there, if you go to salary scale, if you check on Indeed, Glassdoor, you will see that the salaries that these people are they are earning let me say ritualist money, but they are earning a lot of money. Okay, so in the UK, for example, a business analyst is earning on an average £52,000 per annum, and it's even like much more better if you are, say for example, living in Nigeria and earning in pounds. Do you get? So in the UK we have 52,500. In Canada we have 74,000. I have seen a complete newbie, somebody, a friend of mine, he is a business analyst, he just started, he just like took the program with us, and now he's earning 200. He's new, I'm telling you, he's new, but he's in Canada and he's earning 200. All right, that's Canadian dollars per annum. Okay, so this is for a BA. Then for USA as well, we have 85,000 on an average. Okay, so in getting started, how can I get started? I said it earlier, you don't necessarily have to plan for long before you jump up on this thing. Just be very specific about what you want to do and then get started immediately. So you can become a BA in 3 months. You are going to be learning in 2 months. You're going to be having classes. The classes are on Saturdays and Sundays. That's between 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturdays and 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. on Sundays. And also for the BA program, we cater for the EST people. Okay, so it does not matter if the UK time does not work for you. We also have the timing for people that live in the EST time zone. That's in USA, Canada, Asia, and so on and so forth. All right, so we also have another additional program in which you get to intern for 1 month. This is where you're going to be working on various projects as a business analyst, and these are the projects that you're going to be defending or using to back up your profile as a business analyst. So business analysis, no code, you learn all of these amazing things and you start to earn cool money. Moving forward, we have data analytics. This is also no code, and this is my favorite because I am a data analyst and I always like advocate for the data analytics program. Okay, so it's no code at all. You don't necessarily have to, you don't even have to know any programming language or what have you before you can get into the data analytics program. You don't necessarily have to know any of the programming languages again before you can get a job as a data analyst. Okay, so for the data analytics program, what are the skills that you're going to be learning? We have number one, problem solving. Listen, it's very important. The major role of a data analyst, it is not dashboarding, it is not visualizing data, it is solving problem. All right, so you're going to be solving problem using data. I've seen a lot of people mix these things up, just
you know, just get on YouTube and start to watch how to build dashboard in Excel and they just put it up there like that. No, what problem is your dashboard solving? This is what you need to be specific about as a data analyst. And this is what we're going to be teaching you. We're going to be teaching you how to ensure that your dashboard is not just visually appealing, but is also solving the company's problem. And this is where working on real life case studies come in. Okay, so we're not going to be doing all these random things everywhere that everybody's just jumping on challenges and doing this and that. We're going to be working on real life case studies, saying, okay, what is the problem statement of this company? What is the objective? Okay, so what data sets do we need to solve this problem? Okay, so how do we go about it? What are the steps we need to take to solve this problem? Then how do we visualize this data? What are the charts and visuals that we need to use to communicate the insights? All right, and then how do we present? Yesterday we had a presentation. Some of our students, they worked on an employee data set. They wanted to see what exactly is going on with the employees in the company, and yeah, they had a presentation. I'm going to show you a video on that later. But yeah, so as a data analyst, you want to ensure that, of course, you know the core thing that you are coming to do is to solve problems using data. Okay, so number one is problem solving. Then we move into Excel, and not just Excel, advanced Excel. Okay, so you're going to be learning functions and formulas. You're going to be learning pivot tables. You're going to be learning how to build interactive dashboards in Excel. That is very important. You don't want to be working with static dashboards all the time. We see a lot of static dashboards, and at the end of the day, it's just like all over the place. But you're going to be working on how to build interactive dashboards in Excel. Then you move to SQL. That I just call it SQL because that SQL is a lot for me. So we're going to be moving to SQL, where you learn how to query databases, and that's a plus. We've had people get jobs with just Excel, but with the knowledge of SQL, it makes you somebody at the top as well, because this is one thing that you're going to be working with occasionally as a data analyst, right? And so we major on Postgres. You're going to be learning how to import databases, how to create your own databases, how to query with different query languages, different manipulation languages, and so on and so forth. Okay, and then we move to Power BI. This is where you're going to be learning Power Query. You learn data analysis expressions as well. You learn functions and formulas, advanced functions and formulas that will help you make sense of your data. I see a lot of people raising their hands, so if you have questions, you can put them in the chat. My colleague is going to be answering them, but at the end of the day, I'm still going to take your questions. All right, so let's just keep it going. Then we move to Tableau, where you're also going to learn how to build interactive dashboards. I'm a fan of Tableau, all right, and so this is one of the things that you're going to really enjoy doing. If you go on LinkedIn and you type in hashtag 10Alytics, you see a lot of amazing dashboards, interactive dashboards that our students are building. Also, you'll be learning how to use Tableau to make sense of your data, draw out insights, and tell stories. Where this is where we move to data storytelling. So of course, you're not just going to be building dashboards and then leaving them hanging in the air for people to figure out. You're going to be explaining. This is very important as a data analyst. You need to know how to tell stories with your data. Okay, so what is this data telling me? How do I tell people that do not have any technology idea what this data is saying? This is one important skill that you need to have as a data analyst, and this is what we're going to be teaching you in the data analytics program. So problem solving, Microsoft Advanced, Microsoft Excel, because if I say now that on a scale of 1 to 10, rate your Excel skills, people will be saying 10, no, 11, 8, 20. But when we get to it, then you start to say, oh, so this is Excel. Oh, I didn't know about this. Oh, this and that. So advanced Microsoft Excel, SQL, Power BI, Tableau, and data storytelling. So for the data analyst salary, we have on the average in the UK, you have 40,000 pounds. In Canada, you have 64,000 Canadian dollars. And in the USA, you have 72,000 USA dollars. Okay, so again, you don't necessarily have to be in these countries before you can get a job. All right, so I have friends, they are in Lagos, Nigeria, and they are earning in Canadian dollars. Do you know, if we're converting that in this Tinubu's economy, do you know how much that is going to be giving you? Okay, so think about it. You can get started and become a data analyst in 3 months. You have 2 months of learning. It's the same thing as the BA program. You have 2 months of learning and you have 1 month of internship where you're going to be working on real life case studies. Okay, so 6 real life case studies. You're working on them, you're presenting, you're building your dashboards, you're collaborating. All right, you're not going to be working alone. That's another important thing if you're getting into tech. You don't have to work alone. See, working alone is very stressful. Very stressful. You're just all over the place. At times you get tired. At times you don't get people to motivate you. So you're going to be working with other people, collaborating with other people. Of course, people would always, I mean, talent managers will always ask, like, okay, have you worked with teams? What did you achieve? This and that. So these are things that you're going to be doing with us at 10Alytics. That's for the data analytics program. We have the financial analytics program as well. We have the financial analytics program. I saw somebody asking, I want to get started in financial analytics. So please pay attention because I'm going to be diving into what we do in the financial analytics program. Again, no code. Solomon mentioned it earlier, no code. Okay. So what are you going to be learning in financial analytics? Number 1 is problem solving. Of course, you're also going to be learning how to solve problems because you are working as a financial analyst. It's a lot of problems in the financial world today. You want to ensure that learning how to solve problems alone is going to stand you out as a financial analyst. You're also going to be learning Microsoft Advanced, Microsoft Excel, codes functions and formulas, the if function, VLOOKUP, count if. It goes on and on and on and on. So you're going to be learning all of these things. You're going to be learning Power BI as well, where you're learning how to tell stories using Power BI, how to build interactive dashboards, how to drill down into your data set in Power BI. Then moving forward, you'll be learning accounting fundamentals. Now, I've had people ask me, do I have to be an accountant, study accounting before I can take the financial analytics program? No, you do not. Solomon did not study accounting. He is an engineering student. Okay, so no accounting. You don't have to at all. Okay, so you're going to be learning accounting fundamentals. We take it from the scratch. That's one thing I really enjoy about analytics, is that we take it from the very beginning. So when we say you don't come as you are, when we say come as you are, we mean it like literally come as you are, because you don't necessarily have to have any knowledge at all before you can get started in any of these programs. So you learn accounting fundamentals, then you learn financial analysis, how to analyze financial data. You're going to be working with if you've attended our previous financial analytics masterclass, you see that we work with different financial data, right? So at times it might be the GT monthly report statements, you analyze it in Power BI and so on and so forth. So we do financial analysis where you learn how to analyze your financial data. Then financial modeling. This is where it gets like really interesting, because even before you finish building your first financial model, you're already getting contract jobs. Now, a friend of mine, she became my friend after she joined 10Alytics. As soon as they finished that financial modeling class, she put it up on LinkedIn straight up, and before we could even say, oh, hello, where she was already getting gigs. All right. Oh, I saw your financial model on LinkedIn. I like it. Can you help me do this for my business as well? And for one financial model, she was getting 200K for just one. So you know that you don't even need a 9 to 5 if you're in tech. You can just like be a consultant, be a freelancer, and you're getting your money. Okay, so this is where it gets interesting. Financial modeling, and you move to evaluation and sensitivity scenario analysis. That are the things I'm going to be learning in the financial analytics class. Now, for the salary range in the UK, for a financial analyst, we have £51,000 per annum. For Canada, we have 69,000 Canadian dollars. And for USA, United States of America, we have 74,000 United States dollars. Okay, so these are the salary ranges for different countries. Of course, you can become a financial analyst in 3 months. You do 2 months of learning. We have 2 months of learning where you go to classes, we work with watch media videos, you have lifetime access to these materials. You know, if I've not said that before, I'm putting that out now. You have lifetime access to these materials, 2 months of learning, then 1 month of internship. In between, you have your capstone project. So it will not be that is our exams of our tests. Like, okay, so you've gone through the program, what have you learned? Okay, so you have 1 month of internship as well. Lastly, before I start bringing up the other people that we need, that I've come to talk about the experience with analytics, I have the HR analytics program. Of course, that is also no code, and this is not tailored. It is tailored for the HR analytics people, but if you don't have HR experience and you want to go into HR analytics, you can definitely open this. Okay, so also no code. You have one problem solving, then you'll be learning Excel and Power BI as well. You also be learning HR analytics and performance evaluation. So this is data analytics, but tailored towards HR. So making sense of HR data, HR metrics and life cycle. You're going to be learning all the key HR metrics that are important for people to take note of. So talent management, attrition, absenteeism, so the things I'm going to be learning, the metrics I'm going to be learning in the HR program. HR analysis and dashboarding. Of course, you want to be able to make sense of your HR data. Collaboration and report automation, and building your case and creating action. These are the things that you're going to be learning in the HR analytics program. Okay, in the UK, it's 32,500 per annum. In Canada, it's 71,000 per annum, and in USA, it is 62,000 United States dollars per annum. You can become an HR expert in 3 months, HR analytics expert in 3 months. You learn in 2 months, 2 months of learning, intensive learning. That's on weekends. Okay, so we don't do classes during the week because we know people go to work, people have their 9 to 5, people have their jobs. So we've made it so convenient that you don't have to come to it's not a during the week program, it's a weekend program, right? So we have the specified time and all of that. So before I talk about the last 3 programs that we have, I'm going to call up Adeza. Okay, hi Adeza.
All right, Damilola, thank you very much for that explanation. Okay, so I just want to cover 2 things, which is the first one is on the timing, because I saw some questions asking if I'm in Canada or I'm in the US, what time do I join a class? Or if I'm in the UK or I'm in Nigeria with a similar time zone, what time do I join, a particular class during the weekend? So our programs cater for those in Canada, in the US, and also for those in Nigeria, in the UK, and in Africa generally, usually within the same time zone. And I'll give you a typical example. Now, on a Saturday, you've registered for the business analysis program. You have your class 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West Africa time. So if I'm in Nigeria, that's 11 a.m., 2 p.m. my time. If I'm in the UK, that's also 11 a.m., 2 p.m. my time. Similar time zones. All right. Now, what if I'm in the US and I also registered for business analysis? What happens? You have another class, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. your time, that fits into your schedule, your current time zone. All right. So if you're in the US, you'd have your class 11 a.m. So on a typical Saturday, we have 2 classes. One class is tailored for those in West Africa, across Africa, in Nigeria, in the UK, some, similar time zones. And then you have another class later in the evening, which will definitely tilt towards the time zone for those in Canada and in the US and other North American regions with similar time zones. So you decide on the particular class you'd love to join. Would I want to join the class that's tilted towards the West African time zone or the Eastern time zone? So it's flexible for you to join in that regard. I think secondly, I can see there's user, you are sending a question around downloading and installing Python or Anaconda. I think your question has been answered, okay, on what Anaconda is and what Python is. You need to answer if you have registered for one of our programs already. If you have, then you have a welcome kit that clearly outlines every single thing you need to install and prepare ahead of the class. If you haven't, then my colleagues have explained what Python and Anaconda, what they mean. All right, so look at the chart and you'd find the answer to that question, because I can see you are sending the questions repeatedly. What level of education? You don't need any level of education. You don't need any background. And I'll give you my own story very quickly so I can hand over back to the amazing people that will be coming to share their experience. I studied industrial chemistry, okay? And I've done data analytics for close to a decade. I have never worked as an industrial chemist. I have never worked a single day in my life using my degree from the university. Now, how was I able to transition and work as a data analyst for close to a decade for some of the biggest organizations across the globe? Very simple, learning the skills required to become a data analyst. The skill can be acquired by anybody and everybody, okay? All you need to do is identify which career path would I like to follow? What would I like to do in the next few months? And all the programs are designed in a way that they are beginner friendly. You don't need any experience. You don't need to have worked as a data analyst or as a data scientist or as a business analyst to join any of the programs. Okay, you learn the skill and we would work with you apart from you just learning in class in a project-based learning environment. You also get some additional benefits that would eventually bridge the gap between the classroom and you getting the job. Okay, so Damilola would come back to speak about that later during the session, which revolves around your CV. You have CV review sessions, your LinkedIn optimization sessions. You would have interview preparation, because once you have a job interview, what do you do when you get into that interview? How do you preempt the questions you're likely going to get? Okay, so these are some of the things that would work with you to ensure that you present the very best of yourself when you get into that interview eventually. Now, lastly is looking at the trend of the new technologies and where the world is tilting towards, which is definitely tilting towards AI, artificial intelligence. You'd see generative AI tools like ChatGPT and so many other, AI tools coming up. What we have done internally at 10Alytics is to also embed your programs with ChatGPT for analytics. So take, for example, you join the data analytics program, you'd learn how to use ChatGPT as a tool, as a generative AI tool to help ease your work as a data analyst. If I want to come up with insights, for example, how do I leverage a tool like ChatGPT to help me solve that problem or to help me come up with solutions to the problem to make my work faster? Same with data science, with Power Platform Engineering and all the programs we offer. You also get to learn how to use tools like ChatGPT to make your work a lot better. And these are some of the things we are embedding into the program to ensure that as the new trends, the new technologies come up, you are also in line with the same trend across the industry itself. Okay. With regards to payments, I know a lot of people in Ghana complain about making payments using PayPal. So what I would advise if you're in Ghana, because we receive so many participants from Ghana, all right? So what I'd advise you to do, Mubashir, is use the Paystack option. So in making payments, you have 3 key categories, okay? Or 3 key options, if you will. You have the direct payments where you send the money directly to our account, the pound account or the Nigeria account or the Naira account, or you send or you make your payments using PayPal. So if you're in Netherlands, for example, or you're in France, or you're in Belgium, somewhere around Europe, you can make your payments using PayPal, or you're in the US or Canada, you can pay using PayPal. You can also pay using Paystack if you're in Ghana, you're in Nigeria, or anywhere across the globe. The Paystack option, you make the payment in Naira. So Mubashir, that's the option I'd recommend for you. Make your payments using the Paystack option, which my colleagues would share with you. I know a lot of people are asking, how much does it cost? What does it take for me to be a part of the program coming up on the 2nd of September? Damilola would walk us through all of that, and we'll take your questions before the session ends today. If you have questions, please drop it in the chat before you get the opportunity to unmute yourselves and speak, to have a conversation with us. So Damilola, I'll hand over to you to continue from here.
Thank you, Adeza. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. So I'm going to call up the other students that we have that will be speaking to us. Then I'm going to round up by talking about the last 3 programs that we have, and then would take other questions. So from the BA program, I have Joey. Hi, Joey. Joey.
Hi, Damilola. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening. Would you like to turn on your camera so that I can spotlight?
Yeah, sure.
you?
Can you see me?
I believe so. Yes.
Oh,
Not yet. It's coming up. It's dark. Okay. I can see now. Hi, Joey. So I'm a fan of Joey because, he's one of our best students in the BA program. And so he's going to be sharing his experience with us and also what they did in the BA program. So over to you, Joey.
thank you so much, Damilola. Hello, everybody. What I'll just do is I'll quickly just run us through a slide of a project we did. And I'll use that slide to explain the daily life of a business analyst and what a business analyst actually does, or what you would do if you are a business analyst. I know she has tried to show a bit of bias for data analysis, but now is my turn. So I'll try and convince everybody to do business analysis. So I'll just quickly share my slide. Okay. I'm sure you can see my slide, right?
Yes, we can see.
Okay. So this is a project that was done for a cosmetic company that sell their products, but they wanted to go into selling their products online. And then 10Alytics was consulted to help run through the program and what the business analyst does. First of all, let's see what is business analysis and all that. I'll just quickly take us through these definitions. Pardon me, it's a bit academic, but later on you'll see. I'll try and rush through. It take like 10-15 minutes so that we don't bore everybody. Now, business analysis is a discipline that identifies, analyzes, and solves business problems to drive organizational improvements and achieve strategic objectives that the organization has set for itself. It says that it involves the needs of a business, evaluating existing processes, that's how they do things, and then the systems, and then recommending effective solutions that will help to optimize these operations, increasing efficiency and delivering value. How were we doing things before, and how do we want to do things now? So a business analyst will come in to interface with how things were being done before, interact with all the stakeholders. Stakeholders are people that are involved in the business or a particular product, everywhere that has something to do with it. Interact with everybody and then feel their pulse. What exactly do they want from this new phase that we want to go into? And then make recommendations to the organizations so that the project can be carried out. And a business analyst plays a crucial role in a project, acting as a bridge between business stakeholders and the development team. Now, a business analyst will have an idea of if you are a business owner and you don't know anything about technicalities of any business and you want to get involved in a technical thing, like this particular case now, they want to start selling online. Imagine me as a business owner and I don't know anything about how business operates online. I don't know these terms, JavaScript, Python. I don't know anything. Mine is I just want to sell my products online. So the business analyst will interface between the development team, the technical experts, and the business team. He will be the one to interpret the big terms to the business people, and the business people's mind, he will break it down for the technical team to understand. So that's what a business analyst actually does, is a bridging between the business to ensure that the business works smoothly. Now back to our case study. So you have been assigned as a business analyst for an online cosmetic company. The company sells various skincare and other beauty products. This is your first big project with this company, and it is to build an online web portal where customers can get the best customer experience. Since the team will be using an agile approach to complete the project incrementally, your first assignment is to manage the product backlog and create some user stories. Okay, we might not get to this technical part, so don't begin to ask questions. Don't worry. I just want to give you the basics of what a business analyst does, but some of these things you will get to understand better if you decide to enroll with the program. I hope you don't make a wrong choice by not enrolling. To understand the requirements, you have decided to map out the current process and business process. You decided to meet the various cross-functional team members to understand the current process. So first thing that the business analyst will do is, okay, this is what they want to do now. What exactly are they doing? They are selling their cosmetic products like a regular salesperson, manually, physically, and all that, but they want to also delve into online selling. So he will now interact, or the team will interact with all, like I said, the stakeholders, the salespeople, the owners of the business, the finance team, the production team, warehouse, you just name it, even the customers, and feel the pulse of everybody. What exactly, how do you feel? How do you enjoy the business so far? What exactly are they doing? How are they doing it? Are there ways that you think this business can be improved upon? If we decide to sell online, what are the things that you think we should impute so that you will enjoy the experience better? Now, he will document all the findings as per the interactions with all the stakeholders. And after the interactions, then they begin to they present the documentations to the business owners. And then once they have a go ahead, the business will be executed. Now, I'm just running through what we did in the cosmetic thing. Now, these are the basic assignments. Create a list of questions that you will ask stakeholders to gather requirements for the web portal. Create a swim lane diagram for each of the actors involved in the online ordering process. The stakeholders that we're looking at here, the actors are customers, customer service team, and the warehouse team. There are other actors, but we just want to streamline ourselves to this for ease of explanation. Then you create a user story that will be delivered to the development team around the shipping and email confirmation of the shipped product. Let's leave that side. Let's not now in this concept too, we have the things that are in our own scope and some things that are out of our own scope. Now, in scope is what you have been assigned to do. There are so many things that can be done in any project, but within a project, there's also a project. So you might just be assigned, you might have like 5 different business analysis teams or project teams rather, and everybody is given their own jurisdiction. So for this particular project, we had our own scope. Our scope is customer placing the online order, customer service department receiving the order, warehouse department fulfilling and shipping the order, and notifying the customers on order status. Now, the out of scope is anything prior to ordering, before ordering, and after shipping. That was to be handled by another project team. So you should also be a business analyst, must be detail oriented. You must pay attention to details. It's very, very important. So you understand where you have been confined to do your work so that you do that efficiently and effectively. Now, these are some of the questions that popped up that we asked during information gathering. What are the key features that the web portal should have? Because everybody has an idea of what they want. So by the time you interact with everybody, you might not give everybody what they want, but you need to interact with almost everybody to get an idea of what they want. And that will also inform how you will shape these things and present to the major stakeholders that will take the key decisions. Now, what should be first point of contact for what should be the first point of contact for a customer who has placed an online order? What should happen in case material shortage or unavailability, and blah 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 blah. So many questions. I'm sure if I give you the opportunity, you could ask some other questions, pop up some other questions that will be very, very useful. The important thing is that you engage with these people and ask a lot of questions. And as they are giving their own ideas, you're documenting these things down because it's going to help out in decision making. Are there any specific criteria or rules determining when an order should be cancelled? We're going further. These are more questions that are popping up. Are there any regulatory compliance requirements that needs to be adhered to? What are the expectations around lead time for shipping orders? Some people will tell you that these orders must be shipped in the next, and once your order is placed, in 2 minutes, it has to be shipped. In 10 minutes, it has to be shipped. Like we had something that we did for canteen, online ordering system for a canteen. And the storyline was that they had a restaurant that could only take limited number of people, and they decided to go online so that the workers can also order online, and then it will be brought to their offices and they can partake from it. So instead of having 3 hours wasted for queuing for you to get your food and all that, you can order in the comfort of your office, and then the food comes to you and you can eat maybe in the little kitchenette that you have in your floor. And that eased up a lot of traffic, and life became very, very good for them in that. So there are different things that people can do. So once you engage with the stakeholders and you ask the right questions and you take their feedback, you'll be able to think through and take a decision around it. Now, this is a swim lane we're talking about. It's also good to do a process map whereby you understand where you're coming from. It's called as is, as it was before, as it is now. Then you have a to be flow plan. What exactly, where do we want to get to? So once, if you have, let me give a simple example with a vehicle. You have a Toyota Corolla of 2006 that has very limited features, and you want to improve on that Toyota Corolla to Toyota Corolla 2023. Now, what the vehicle had then was it didn't have a reverse camera, it didn't have maybe a fog light, it didn't have Bluetooth connection, and we want to make it top notch. So you are, by virtue of interacting with the stakeholders, they tell you, oh, we want the car to have a reverse camera. I want to see my back when I'm reversing without stress. I want to be able to connect my phone, my device to the raised stereo so that I can listen to music or make calls. Once these features are gathered, this information are gathered, then you put it back to the Toyota company who have given you the contract to draft out to carry out this project, and they see the idea. Okay, not a bad idea. We need to give it reverse camera. We need to put fog lights. We need to connect to Bluetooth. Blah blah blah. And by the end, you get a Toyota Corolla 2023 that is top notch. So this, coming back to our cosmetic thing now, the customer starts the process. Customer places an order. Now the order is received by the customer service team via email because it's an online process. Now check the inventory. The customer service will check the inventory in the system to be sure that there is a product. Now, if there's a product, if there's no stock, product is not available, then he cancels the order and informs the customer, and the customer will receive an email that ends the transaction. But if there is stock, material stock, then he will make a request to the warehouse team. Now the request goes to the warehouse team where they check the warehouse. They also will now check physically for stock availability. Now you know that the customer service checked on the system to see if there's a stock, but they will check physically if there's a system, if there's a product, if the stock is available. If the stock is not available, sorry, then they can inform the customer service team, sorry, we didn't update our system, blah blah blah, and then send an email, and then the same process, customer is informed and he receives an email. But if the stock is available, then the warehouse people will now package the stock and then come to sending a confirmation email to the customer. As they're sending a confirmation email, they're also shipping the item to the customer. Customer receives an email of the shipment, and that ends the transaction. So this gives a very, very clear picture of what we want to achieve, and this is what you will share with the management or the product sponsors. And then I said I don't want to bore us with the user story, so Let's leave it at that. So in a nutshell, you just need to have an idea of what a typical day is for a business analyst. Now we're talking about different systems that you work on, different systems that you work on, like Jira. You have this software that you can use to communicate. So the beauty of it is that you can work online. Like Damilola was saying that she has people in Nigeria working in Canada. They are physically apart, but in online, they are always talking to each other, having stand-up meetings, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes every day, discussing the project and running through the project and all that till the end of the project. Once the project is executed, now the business analyst works with the project manager, works with software developers, works with data analysts, all project team members. The business analyst will just ensure that everybody is doing what they are supposed to do at the right time and to ensure that the project is completed in due course without having conflicts with the project manager. Of course, the project manager has his own role. And I don't want us to talk about this. So that's it in a nutshell. Thank you very, very much.
Okay, so hi, Joey. Thank you so much for this wonderful presentation. So now I can clearly say that you wanted everybody on this call, or you want everybody on this call to register for business analysis, right? So thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking out time. All right. So
one thing, sorry, just one thing. I think it's very interesting to also point out that naturally, if you're doing this program, sorry, I'm not trying to demarket any other business company that is doing this program. If you're doing this program with most people, they'll teach you the basics of business analysis. Now it has its own path, all the different ways of documenting and eliciting and all that. But the joy of doing it with 10Alytics is that those three things, they will teach you some very important things with Excel, SQL and Power BI. That is, it's a unique selling point for 10Alytics. And I'll say it to you, I doubt if there's any other organization that goes that extra mile. So it's something that you will always benefit from if you take the decision to enroll as a business analyst with 10Alytics. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Joey, for taking out your time to join us this evening. So one final question before you go, because you have convinced us, actually you have convinced participants on this call. So what advice would you have for anyone thinking to transition into business analysis in terms of, do they need a background? Do they need an IT background? Do they need to be so proficient? What do you recommend?
You don't need to have the background. Everything will be taught with ease, and it's a process. You don't become, of course, you finish the program, you get your certificate, you're a business analyst, but that's not the end of business analysis. We learn every day. I'm done with 10Alytics, but I'm still doing projects with 10Alytics till to date. That's why I even joined late, because I was in another meeting, because they brought up a project that I'm working with some other team members. So, and as we're doing this project, we're learning on a daily basis. You go online, you learn some new things, you interact with other business analysts, you learn some new things. So there's no need to be scared that you don't have experience. You don't need any experience. You don't need to have of course you should understand English. That's basic. So that's maybe the only thing you need to know is to know how to speak English, or it's important. But any other thing, understand English. Any other thing, you don't need it. Just come just as you are. Come with an open mind. You might not understand everything that is being taught. I had challenges. I had serious challenges learning these things. But at the end, see me with the confidence I'm exuding now, talking about business analysis. So that's one thing. Again, you might not understand everything at the beginning, but just keep on keeping on. Keep on going through whatever has been taught on a daily basis. Make sure you practice, and the sky will be your limit.
Yes, so thank you so much. Thank you so much, Joey, for taking out time to join us this evening.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your words of encouragement to those persons that will be seen in class for the business analysis program. So thank you so much.
Thank you too.
Okay, so have a lovely evening. All right.
Yeah,
so
you too.
You too. So we have Joseph that finished the business analysis program, and from what you can see, what we have been emphasizing on from the beginning is not just you learning the skill, but how well can you communicate whatsoever you have learned? How well can you be vocal and you are able to stand up and speak regarding your whole analysis? So it's not just you learning the skills, there's the other 50% that you will learn from your group projects, from your team communication. And that is why these participants are here, and you can see that they've been doing amazingly well. So moving forward, we have 2 more participants on this call from the HR Analytics program and then Power Platform Engineering program. So we have Urola Odulati. I believe I am pronouncing your name correctly, but hi, how are you doing this evening? Hi, Urola.
Hi, good evening.
Yeah, a good evening. How are you doing this evening?
Very well.
So can we
I'm
see
very
you?
well, thank you.
Can we see you?
Okay, I'm sorry, I have bonnet on my head. Well,
Okay.
later.
No problem. Okay, no problem. So I just have a few questions for you. How
Thank
did
you.
you get to know about 10Alytics,
Can you
your
see me?
experience so far, and basically your learning process?
Okay, thank you very much. Can you see me? Is my face showing?
Yes, I can
I
see you
can't see
clearly.
myself. Okay. All right, that's fine. Hi everyone. Good evening. Okay, so how I heard about 10Alytics was okay, so I didn't it wasn't my journey didn't start with 10Alytics. Like, like it wasn't like I just decided on 10Alytics. So my friend had already been taking a data science and data engineering course. She took data science, then she went ahead and took the data engineering course with analytics, and and we were in the same room, so she would be listening to the classes and I'm watching, but obviously I'm not listening 100%, but I was just hearing, like I'm always hearing, how detailed and how patient the scores are and all that. So, but my mind was not there. I wanted to, and I was in between deciding whether I want to study, like whether I want to do business analysis or maybe something else, because I just completed my MBA. So I'm like, okay, so what's next? I need a career, and so also I was actually praying and thinking of what to do. Then um another friend of mine advised me, oh, you already have something in HR, focus on HR, focus on HR. And then all of a sudden I started saying, okay, well, I'm not sure what I want to do with HR. And I was scrolling to check what's it called, business analysis courses, because that's what a lot of my friends are doing and they're getting jobs. So I came across like analytics, and then my friend was like, "Oh, that's I'm with analytics at the moment, and they're fantastic." At all. So I now came. I went to use that yeah. I went to the Instagram page, and then I saw like HR analytics, and I'm like, that's it. Like I want to do HR, and this is something like future HR right here staring in my face, Then looking at this, the slides that you presented earlier, the details of HR, and like it got me excited. Yeah, finally speaking HR.
Okay, so we cannot really hear you again. Your voice is a little bit low.
Oh, really?
Okay, yeah, I can hear you clearly now.
Okay, so like I was just excited that HR has something similar to business analysis, and in my mind I just feel like it would be like HRB, and coming into the program I was just very expectant and excited, and to be honest, like so far so good. I've not been disappointed. Yeah. Can you hear me
Okay.
very much?
Yes, I can hear you clearly now. I couldn't
Yeah.
hear you for a while.
I'm
Okay.
not sure why you're not hearing me well.
Okay. Okay, so let's say one last question before you call it a day with us, because I feel it's really late over where you are. what advice would you want to give to students that are interested in going for the HR analytics program? What will you tell them? What should they do in terms of their background? Do they need an extremely strong foundation, or what would you recommend for them?
Okay, so first of all, to be honest, like as much as I've been interested in HR, can you hear me? I hope it's loud enough.
Yes, I can hear you
Okay.
clearly.
As much as I've been interested in HR for a long time, I've not really had like full experience in HR. And, I feel like the analytics, first of all, has built my confidence, like the fact that, like I thought I knew Excel until I started Excel course and I'm like, oh wow. If only I knew that I didn't know nothing, like I've learned so much. And then, introducing, Power BI, it feels like really, it feels really good. I feel like I've not yet started going to the, I've not started applying for jobs, but I feel already confident in my mind. I'm mentally, interviewing myself and
Okay.
thinking of the way I'll present myself in interviews. So for somebody that, like is looking forward to something like this, or someone that wants better for themselves, someone that really, really, want to change their career trajectory, their life trajectory, it's worth giving it a try. And I really, really want to encourage you to, to bet on yourself with analytics, because, like it's it's been an amazing experience. And to be honest, I know a lot of my colleagues have said it earlier, but I just want to mention that the tutors are extremely, extremely patient. Oh my goodness. Extremely patient, like they come, they at your pace, literally. They don't you can ask them same question 2 million times and they will not get angry. I don't know how they do it. They handhold you, and there's no question like stupid. They come to your level and everything. So to be honest, if you are still, doubting, or you have doubts in your mind, I'll encourage you to bet on yourself. Just decide which one you want to do, bet on yourself and go for it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Borola, for taking our time to join us this evening. Thank you for your words of advice. Trust me, there are persons here that have gotten like their confidence boost from you telling us. All right, so have a good evening. So we have one last participant from the Power Platform program. I mentioned earlier, we have participants across all of our programs coming to speak to you. And so you see for themselves how their learning journey has been, and if they had any prior background in the particular tech fields that they are currently into. So I'll be taking Eyimofe Adebayo. So hi, Bayo, how are you doing this evening? You are muted if you are speaking. Eyimofe Adebayo. Okay, so you're muted if you are speaking. So while we wait for him, so if you noticed across all of our participants, one thing that they mentioned is building their confidence. So there's like a 50%, not just you knowing how to use Power BI, not just you knowing how to use Excel, not just you knowing how to write your code, but how can you effectively communicate? How can you actually prove and say, oh, I did this project and I can tell you the details and the nitty-gritty of what I have derived or the insights that I have acquired. So there's a 50% that you're learning, and then there's the other 50% that you are presenting yourself out there. So Eyimofe is ready. So hi, Eyimofe, you can unmute yourself and then speak.
All right, good evening, Ibrahima. Can you hear me?
Yeah, good evening. I can hear you clearly. So can we see you?
Everyone. Unfortunately, I am where there is no light. I have to just join by any means. Good evening, everyone. My name is Eyimofe Adebayo, a cohort of the Power Platform. This August cohort.
Yeah.
I am very, very excited when I was invited to come and give my experience, and it's been a very, very wonderful ride. Last week when we started on the 2nd of of August, and this is like
Yes.
the second week for our cohorts. And like everyone else, I was excited when I started, but when I started, it wasn't really I was like, I'm a busy person. I don't have prior knowledge of anything Power Platform. I work as an HR officer for my organization. And I attended one of the master classes last month. I think I was even planning to join the business analytics cohort. But something just told me that after the master class, something told me that I should think disruption. I should not always go with the norm. I should think of ways to change maybe wherever I'm working, my organization or something. So, and I keyed into it, and I just decided that I want to do Power Platform because of one of the master classes. And the reason why I want to do Power Platform is that in my workplace, I understand that we have been doing things like the normal way. Everything we are doing there is like paperwork, and I was like, let me find a way to do something and maybe automate some processes.
Yeah.
And I jumped in, and we started. So the first week, because of my engagement in the office, I was so busy, so I couldn't really concentrate. So, but day 2, I have to go and watch the video of the prior class, and it got me excited. I was, and we have an assignment. I was okay. Why not let me tailor this thing to the problem we're having in an organization and see if I can come up with a solution? And believe you me, day 3, we have a 60-day challenge that we are running right now. And I don't want to demarket any parts, but I think Power Platform is actually the in thing. If you are not here, you are nowhere else. So when I joined the 60-day challenge, I had to go and watch the video of the previous class. And with the assignment we were given, I tailored it to what was happening in my organization. And lo and behold, I was able to build a custom-made solution going with because of the assignment we were given in class. I tailored it to our organization. I don't know if you permit me to share my screen
Yes, you can.
just to show you in just 3 days of our class. Hold on, I'm trying to share my screen so
Yes,
that
you can
I'll
go on
just show
now.
you. All right, hold on. Hold on. All right, I'm trying to share my screen so that everyone will see what I was able to build in just 3 days.
Yes, it's coming up. Okay,
All
so we
right.
can see your
Okay,
screen
can you see
clearly.
my screen now?
Yes, we can.
All right, fantastic. This is a little project. I call it Acme app. It's just an app to, if an organization didn't want to use paperwork to for their leave process. Let's assume that we are doing paperwork, you are filling paper, submit to the admin, you go home, they will call you or something. So I know, so okay, let us find a way to automate this. So I'm going to play it so everybody will see. This is the sign up page. Do you have an account? I assume the person doesn't have an account. So you click on sign up.
Sign up.
The sign up will take you to a page where you input your details, your employee's first name, your surname, email, blah, blah, blah. Create a password, confirm the password, and you submit. When you submit, it takes you to the main page where you have to fill the request. You put your details and everything. So I even took it a step further. We weren't taught this in class, but I was just so inquisitive that, okay, let me just try it out, and at least I'll get somewhere. I may not be perfect, but I'll just get somewhere. So I built a start date. Let's assume, okay, you want to start your leave on the 17th. Today is 17. Let's assume you want to start it today. Then you click on OK. Then end dates. Let's assume you want to end it on the 30th, for example. You click on OK. Then you calculate the number of days here, you put it here, then you submit the form, then bingo, it takes you to a success. Wow, I was able to build this in just 3 hours. I built this I built this on Sunday evening after our class. And I was just so excited. And I posted it on my Facebook and my LinkedIn page, my Instagram page, and I was getting a lot of commendation from people because see, guys, there's nothing you cannot do. Just believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. There's nothing you cannot do. I don't mean to demarket any other plan, any other part, like I said,
Yeah.
but if you are not in Power Platform, you are nowhere else. Thank you very much.
So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Eyimofe. Thank you for taking out your time to join us this evening. And the amazing thing is you just started with the August cohort. And look at what
Yes.
you are building. So now imagine in the next couple of months what you will be able to accomplish.
Honestly, I can't
right?
wait. I can't wait, Brahma. I can't wait.
Yeah, so
Thank
I
you
think
very
you've
much.
already answered the question of what advice would you prefer to anybody joining this call that they are interested in registering for the Power Platform program. So I think you already answered that question, but do you have anything else to add?
Okay, yeah. One more thing. It's I when I wanted to join, I was skeptical. I don't have the full amount. How do I go about it? So I reached out to I think to Aimwa, and she told me, okay, you can pay in parts. So I paid the first installment of 180, and I was in class already. So and they gave me opportunity that maybe after 1 month I can pay the balance. Do you understand? So anybody that is still having a kind of doubt, please remove that doubt. The only thing that is stopping you is that doubt. The possibility is endless at the other side. Just risk it, and you will be glad you did. I'm already enjoying. This is day 3 of our project. I've posted my project on platform, and I was even hungry for more. I have started the one for my organization already. When I shared it on Monday to my colleague, I was like, wow, did you build it? I said, yes, I built it overnight, and I built it in 3 hours. I was bragging already, and it was like, they can't wait to deploy it so that we start using it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Eyimofe. Thank you so much for joining us in this session. Thank you for taking out your time. Thank you for encouraging enthusiasts that are really interested in venturing. And one thing that he mentioned that I will leave us with, do not doubt yourself, right? So best believe if they can, you can do it too. So we are here to provide you with the right guidance, with the resources, with access to professionals. You just need to take that leap and take that step. All right, so I'll be handing over to our head of training here at 10Alytics. So hi, Damilola.
Thank you, Brahma. Thank you, Joey. Thank you, Wura and Eyimofe. I remember Eyimofe because last month before he joined the program, he was always joining all the clarity sessions. He was joining the master classes, and we eventually were able to talk together to see the program that he would take. And I'm so glad that he's enjoying the program. Okay, so I see somebody saying they are confused. Don't worry. We have clarity sessions that will cover all of this. Okay, so we're going to be doing a lot of clarity sessions where we'll be speaking one-on-one on the experience that you have and how you can easily transition into the career path that is more suitable for you. So Adeza, welcome again. Okay.
Right. Thank you, Damilola. Sorry, I was muted. I was trying to tell you that you need to unmute me.
Okay.
So for those who are confused, you're spoilt with, a plethora of different choices. Do I go for this or that? And Eyimofe just came to blow us out of the water that, guys, everybody register for Power Platform. And that's the amazing thing when you look at the different programs that we offer, all right? We looked at 3 key areas, like Damilola mentioned earlier, which is ease of learning, ease of transitioning and getting a job, and ease and higher rewarding salaries. So what does that mean? Irrespective of the program you decide to join, and I'll tell you that for free, you'd find yourself in a career path where you can see clearly your career progression, and your skills are also in very high demand. You can apply to jobs, work remotely, and do amazing stuff, just like Aimofe, showed us the app that he was able to build. All right. Damilola also mentioned that we'd have drop-in sessions during the week. Okay. And then those drop-in sessions or clarity sessions would help you to an extent to tailor your current situation so you can easily select the appropriate program where you get the best value, depending on where you are at this point in time. But the major part of making that decision would come from you. So you decide. Some people would say, I don't want to code. I'm over 40 at this stage in my career. I don't want to learn how to code. That's totally fine. Okay, so if you don't want to code, for example, you can't be looking at data engineering. You can't be looking at data science because they're heavy on coding. All right. If you don't want to code, you want to, build applications, build applications like Aimofe, no code, low code applications, something you can learn within the space of a few weeks. The August cohort started on the 5th of August. Today is 17. So just within 12 days, he's building applications, all right, planning to deploy for his organizations. If you want to build those type of applications, then you might want to look into the Power Platform engineering. To summarize, whatever you decide to go for, you would never have made, the wrong decision. All right. But what would guide you all through the way to help you select the appropriate program. Okay. All right. Damilola, move on.
Thank you for sharing, Adeza. Thank you for that. So earlier, I spoke about data analytics program, the business analysis, the HR analytics, and financial analytics. And I said that these programs these are courses where you don't have to code at all. But for people that enjoy DY, DX, you enjoy coding, doing all those heavy stuff, we also have amazing things for you, starting with the data engineering program. Okay, so the data engineer is responsible for designing, developing, and maintaining data infrastructure. You're basically going to be in charge of working on building databases from the scratch. You're ensuring that the company's data infrastructure is intact, in place and intact. Okay, so you're going to be doing flow and integration of data between different systems, databases, and of course different applications. This is what like a data engineer is basically going to be doing, and of course they are heavy coders. Okay, so the key learning areas for data engineering includes, you're going to be getting introduction to data engineering. Like I said, come as you are. If you don't know how to code, it's fine, but if it's something that you want to do, then you're in the right place. So we're going to be doing introduction to data engineering. Then we'll move to structured query language. As a data engineer, I'm going to be working with SQL a lot. Okay, so this is where coding starts. And then we move to Python programming, talking about functions and different areas in which you need to understand as a data engineer. Right, so we talk about Python, we talk about the combination of different flows in Python. Then you move to Linux, then you move into building custom ETL pipelines, talking about the databases and APIs. Then we learn tools like Apache Spark, then Apache Airflow as well, AWS Cloud Engineering. And for this particular program, if you don't want to work as a data engineer, you want to move into something much more bigger, something like a cloud engineer. This is also where you can learn how to be that. Then you learn version control using GitHub and all of those things. So the data engineering program is for people that are very interested in coding and want to learn how to be tech guys within 4 months. The program is for 4 months. You have 3 months of live classes, usually on Saturdays and Sundays, like I said earlier, weekends. You learn for 4 months, so 3 months of live classes, then 1 month of internship. In between that, you're going to be doing your capstone project as well. And the salary range for UK as a data engineer, on an average, you're going to be earning about 60,000 UK pounds. For Canada, you have 92,000 Canadian dollars. For USA, you have 114 USA dollars. For Nigeria, we have about 700,000 per month. I've seen people, data engineers actually learn that earn up to 1M per month in Nigeria. So it depends on how well you can market your skills. And if you want to learn those skills, this is where you need to get started. That's for the data engineer, the data engineering program. We also have the data science program. Okay, this is where you apply advanced analytics and machine learning techniques to get meaningful insights. This is where they are building models. They are doing a lot of predictive analytics. They are doing a lot of machine learning, computer vision, and so on and so forth, in order to make sense of data and also to predict what could happen in the future. For a full stack data science program, the key learning areas will be statistics. Okay, so we're going to be doing statistics, talking about mean, median, mode, covariance, correlation, and so on and so forth. Then you move into forecasting and predictive analytics, because of course, as a data scientist, you're going to be doing a lot of forecasting, a lot of predictive analytics. The data science somebody who is always predicting and predicting and predicting. So they like do more of the predictive parts of data. Okay, so after forecasting and predictive analytics in Excel, you do Tableau. You also learn how to analyze data. Okay, so you want to be able to put what you've found or your data set in a visually appealing way, so much so that you can easily explain to stakeholders. Okay, then you do SQL as well, structured query language, where you learn how to interact with databases. Then we learn exploratory Python programming, a lot of functions, a lot of definitions in Python, a lot of analysis using Python, NumPy, and Pandas. Then you learn exploratory data analysis, where you use Python to dig into your data set, right? So you explore, looking for patterns, looking for insights, looking for correlations in your data set. Then we move to machine learning, where you learn how to build models, all right? Then computer vision, we have a couple of, if you go on LinkedIn and you check for 10Alytics, we have a couple of computer vision projects that our students have done, where they interact with you know how cars can be passing, and then it's able to capture the people that are passing in the car and stuff like that. That's what computer vision is about. So don't be really concerned if you don't know all of these things. If you're just really interested in coding, you want to learn about the data science program, then this is where to get started. For the data science program, it's for 4 months as well. You have 3 months of intensive live classes and then 1 month of internship. During this internship, you're going to be working on different projects, working on different case studies as a data scientist, real life case studies. In the UK, a data scientist earns on the average about £50,000. In Canada, they do 94,000 Canadian dollars, and in the USA, they do 121,000 per annum in the United States of America. So these are different things that you're going to be working with as a data scientist. You have Excel, Tableau, SQL, Pandas, Anaconda. I saw somebody saying, what's the difference between Anaconda and Python? All right, so this is where you get information about that. It is a data science program that you use Anaconda and Python. Okay, so I want to believe you are registering for the data science program. Lastly, we have the Power Platform Engineering program. Okay, so Eyimofe is taking the Power Platform program, and I believe that from everything that he has said, this is even looking much more interesting. Imagine me building websites, building chatbots, like literally chat GPT, without doing HTML. That is what Power Platform is about. So this is, you're developing and implementing various solutions using the Microsoft Power Platform apps, such as the Power Apps, the Power Virtual Agents, the Power Automate, Power BI, and on and so forth. These are the things I'm going to be working with as a Power Platform engineer. Okay, so the key learning areas for the Power Platform engineering program is introduction to Power Platform. All right, so you get into full detailed introduction into the program. Then you go into Power BI, learning how to use Power BI to make sense of Power insights, data. Then also the back end. You're going to be working with the back end of Power BI. So you're going to be opening a developer account and stuff like that. Then you have the structured query language as well. Of course, you need to know how to work with that as a Power Platform engineer. It gives you an edge, gives you a better advantage over other people, because this is not something that is really integrated into other programs, other Power Platform engineering programs. Okay, and you also do Power Automate, you do Power Apps, you do Power Virtual Agents, you build Power Pages, and then you're going to be building your case studies and creating actions. All right, so these are the things that you'll be learning, the key learning areas as a Power Platform engineer. And this program is for 3 months. The Power Platform engineering program is for 3 months. You have 2 months of live classes. These are on weekends, on Saturdays and Sundays. And then you have 1 month of internship where you're going to be working with real life case studies, building chatbots, building apps, and building websites with no code at all. All right. So for the salary range, you have UK, that is, they are doing like 45. And funny enough, this is actually gaining more traction. So people are looking for people that know how to build chatbots without having to do all the coding, and they can easily like explain to them. Okay, so in the UK it's £45,000. In Canada, that is 72,000 Canadian dollars, and in the United States of America it is 110,000 US dollars. Okay, so this is for the Power Platform engineering program. No coding, no mathematics, no statistics at all. Now, one major question that I've been getting is, how much is it? How much is it? How much is it? I'll get into it in a minute. But before that, we've talked about the various programs. Now, if you're going to be learning tech, you're not just going to be learning all the tech parts. There are other parts that you need to be very good at. And this is the remaining 50% that we offer at 10Alytics. Okay, the remaining 50% that we offer at 10Alytics. So this is like a cycle of the programs that you're going to be learning. We have months of, so every program has its own months of learning. We have virtual instructor. You don't have to get in the bus or get in the car or get in the traffic to learn. You learn from the comfort of your home using Zoom. We use Slack channels. We have Google Classrooms where all these materials that you use in class are stored. I'm going to put that up in a minute. You have the WhatsApp chat rooms as well. Classes are on Saturdays and Sundays. On Saturdays, we have live classes for the data science program, the data analytics program, the HR analytics, financial analytics. And on Sunday, we have the self-paced Watch Me Do It videos. These are videos that are pre-recorded of various concepts that you need to learn. So you go watch these videos on Sundays and a little more over the week, in which also we'll be having drop-in sessions and all of that. But then on Sunday, based on what you've watched in the Watch Me Do It videos, we are going to come back to the live class to work on case studies, applicable case studies, so that even without working anywhere, you can get in front of the interviewer and explain the projects that you worked on as if these are projects that you've done for a company. Okay, so that's why we say you don't necessarily have to have any experience, you build the experience here. All right, and then for programs like business analysis, Power Platform engineering, data engineering, we have Saturdays for live classes and Sundays for live classes as well. Okay, so you also get to join series of recruitment act sessions. That's the remaining 50%. We don't leave our students with just the technical parts, but we also teach you the humanly part as well, if I can call it that. Okay, so these are things that position you for success in the job market. We don't want to imbibe you with the knowledge. We also want to give you these skills, imbibe you with these skills that make it so that you are able to come out at the top wherever you apply to. So that's what we call the 50%. This includes CV review sessions. We have experts, in-house experts, and we also bring in like talent managers from outside to speak to you about how you can work on your CV to ensure that it is able to pass the tracking system. All right, and then things to put in your CV. For example, you won't believe that in this 2023, this new age of stone, we still have people putting their date of birth in their CV. These are things that we need to stop. So these are things that we teach our students not to do. All right, so we teach them how to position themselves properly using good CVs. We also have LinkedIn optimization sessions where we also teach you how to optimize your LinkedIn, how to not have a teddy bear's face, but professional LinkedIn, right? Then we have Upwork optimization for people that don't want to work. You want to be a boss of your own. We have people that say, I don't want to work under anybody. I want to be a boss of my own. We have you covered. Okay, so we have the Upwork optimization where we teach you how to become a freelancer using Upwork, using Fiverr, using freelancer.com, and so on and so forth. Then we also have the navigating the job market sessions where we teach you where to go to get these jobs. You see people asking, where exactly are these jobs? I'm not getting jobs. But our students are getting jobs every day. So how are they doing it? That is a secret that you'll have to learn when you join. We also offer recommendation and reference letter. So if, say, for example, you've gotten a job and you need a reference letter, this is something that we do for our students, okay? We also offer recommendation letters. So maybe you are trying to like pursue something higher. You need somebody to write a recommendation for you. We do that as well. Then we have the job and interview preparation sessions. Like Taiwo said earlier, she wanted to apply for a job, and then she was able to book a session with one of our facilitators who sat through with her, looked at her CV and helped her to tailor it, then also like talked her through different interview questions, gave her tips and tricks on how to pass interview sessions. Then we also have, this is very important, mentorship sessions. And this would usually happen on Wednesdays and Thursday evenings. As a matter of fact, we have one going on at the moment. We have an analyst from Deloitte speaking to our students, talking to them about how to position themselves and gain visibility. That is going on at the moment. And this is part of what you get to enjoy as a participant at 10Alytics. Okay, so take a look at the amazing people that are going to be taking you through your classes. We have the best of the best, starting with Ifemena, who is a business data support lead in the UK. We have Adeza. Adeza has come up a couple of times to speak to us here. He's also a data scientist in the UK. We have Nene. Nene is a commercial analytics specialist in the UK. We have Nena, who is a product manager in the UK. Got Obina in Canada. Sheon in the UK. Sheon is top-notch expert. We have Emmanuel, who is human resource specialist in Nigeria here. We have Ibrahim, who stays in the UK, is a machine learning engineer. We've got Kelvin, is a data engineer in Nigeria. Kelvin takes his class with so much, you think you are literally like his child when he's teaching you, because it takes really serious. Then Teniola, got Abdurrahman, got Francis, who stays in the UK as well. Now, how much does it cost to join 10Alytics? How much does it cost? This is the original fee. If you're looking to take any of our programs, the original fee is 600 Canadian dollars if you're paying in card. If you're paying in pounds, it is 400 pounds. If you're paying in Naira, it is 320,000 Nigerian Naira. But, good news, I'm squeezing that and showing it away. Okay, so we have our discounts ongoing, okay? So we know how it is. We want people to learn. We are all about getting people of the Black community into this tech space. Okay. So for the data analytics program, business analysis, full stack data science, financial analytics, HR analytics, and power platform engineering, we have discounted amounts. I said 600 Canadian dollars earlier, but if you're paying the discounted amount, you're paying 500. If you're paying in Canadian dollars, you're paying 270 if you're paying in Naira, and you're paying 300 pounds if you're paying in pounds. Now, again, another opportunity for you. You don't necessarily have to pay this amount. You can if you want to. All right, so we are not against that. But if you don't have the full amounts down, but you really need to get on this, then you get to pay first installment 350 Canadian dollars if you're paying in Canadian dollars, and then the second installment is 150 CAD. For Naira, you're paying 270. You're paying first installments to register your interest. You pay 180,000, and then you pay 90,000 a month into the program. Then if you're paying in pounds, you're paying 300 pounds. That is, first payment is 200 pounds. Then last payment is 100 pounds. This is for the first 6 programs listed here. Now, for data engineering, which is a bit stretched, the discounted amount is 600 Canadian dollars. So the major amount for data engineering, the original amount is 800 Canadian dollars, but the discounted amount is 600 Canadian dollars. If you're paying in Naira, you're paying 350,000. The original amount in Naira is 450,000, but if you're paying in Naira, you're paying the discounted amount of 350,000. Then in pounds, you're paying 400 pounds. All right, so first payment, you're paying 450. You're paying, if you're paying in Canadian dollars, of course, you're paying 450. If you're paying in Naira, you're paying 250. The second payment is 150, 100. This discount is for early birds. I need to put this out there, that is for early birds. Okay, so if you are paying, you need to pay as soon as possible. We have just 20 slots, so when it gets filled, that's it. Okay, so that's all. When it gets filled, every other person that will be paying the original amount. Okay, so you need to take advantage of this as soon as possible. I'm seeing a lot of questions in the chat. Chief Justice, the DE program is 350. That is, the 350 is the discounted amount, 350. The original amount is 450. Okay, but the discounted amount is 350. All right, so I'm displaying the account details for people who want to take a screenshot. All right, so take a screenshot of the account details and send in your payment as soon as possible. And when you do that, you have a link where you can upload your payment receipt. Okay, so you have it right here. I'm just going to take this out. You have it right here. You get the slides. All right, so you can like message any of the admins. We'll send you the link to upload your payment receipt. Okay, so the early bird discount ends on the 18th of August, which, you know, we are going to be extending a little, but it won't really pass much, if you get what I mean. Right, so some of the projects that you're going to work on, but before that, Adeza, I don't know if you have something that you want to add.
All right, thank you, Damilola. Nothing really much. I think we'll just take questions for those who have questions before we wrap up the session for today. Now, the early bird discount for those who joined our master classes last week, the discount ends for them on the 18th, which is tomorrow. For those in this session, we're going to extend it a bit further for you, so you have the opportunity to still take advantage of the early bird discounts to be a part of the program. The program starts on the 2nd of September. All right, so for those who make the payment before the end of the early bird discounts, then you can pay the discounted fee. Now, you listen to Eyimofe, you listen to Yetunde, you listen to all the amazing people that came up to speak, and they showcase the skills they've been able to learn. All right, they also went through the same path. They joined a free session like this, they learned about the programs, and they decided to start their journey into tech. okay, choosing different areas across the data ecosystem. Now, what I'll just simply say is this. You find yourself in a unique situation where joining the program in September would give you the opportunity to wrap up your entire journey still in the year 2023. So there are a lot of people, they come up to say, oh, I've been following 10Alytics for the last 2 years. I've been joining your master classes since 2022, but then I decided to join today. All right. I decided to take, the action to join one of the programs today. All right. So if you want to be a part of this, all you have to do, my colleagues would share all the details that you need. For those of you that have filled the form as well, you'll also receive the slides, which has all the details. And if I could just quickly show you, because I know some of you would also want to make payments using PayPal or Paystack, all right? So you can also use that option. All you have to do is, when you receive the slide, just simply click on the link that you have, and I'll share that very quickly with you. So Damilola, if you can allow me to share my screen, please. Okay, so just give me 1 second, and then we'll be right into it. So questions, if you have questions, please use the raised hand icon so that we'll call you up to speak and you can ask the questions that you have. All right, so this is what Damilola was showing you earlier for those who would want to join one of the programs. Now, all you have to do is click on this link, okay? And it takes you into something that looks like this. So here you have access to all the program brochures. So you want to see the details, the nitty-gritty. What am I going to learn in data analytics? What would I learn in data science in terms of the specifics? In Excel, am I really going to learn the fundamentals and the basics like they've said? Your Excel class starts from introduction into Excel, the very first bits, understanding the Excel environment, okay? So you have access to all the brochures. Now, once you have also made payments, so let's take, for example, I'm in Nigeria, I want to make payments using my GT Bank account or my GT debit card, or I want to make payments using my Zenith Bank credit card. All you have to do is click on any of these links that says the full and first part payments, okay? So if I click on this, it takes me into Paystack, and I can make payments using Paystack, paying in Naira. And you have access to all the different programs from data analytics to business analysis to data science, financial analytics. If I click on data analytics, for example, I can then choose if I want to make payments, full payment or part payment. I'll choose that from here. If I choose full payment, for example, it gives me 270,000, and this is a discounted fee. If I go ahead and select the part payment, it gives me 180, which is the first installment of the discounted fee. And I can go ahead, add it to my bag and make payments. All right. Now let's assume I'm somewhere in Poland or in Sweden, across Europe, but I still want to join the program. How do I pay? If I don't have a Naira debit or credit card, you can simply pay using PayPal. Okay. And all you have to do is click either on the full payment, the part payment. And if I click on part payment, for example, it takes me into where I can pay for the part payment for any of the programs, £200, for example. All you have to do is click on buy now. It shows you the PayPal option. You click on PayPal, and then you'd select, if you have a PayPal account, fantastic. You can make the payment using PayPal straight away. If you don't have a PayPal, but you want to make payments using your debit or credit card, then you click on debit, pay by debit or credit card, and then it takes you to where you start. You enter your email, you enter all your details, and then you get to make payments for any of the programs. And once you've made payments, you just upload your receipts, and then you have full access to the program. Once you upload your receipts and you submit, you receive a welcome kit. The welcome kit contains all the things you need to get started in the program. All right. For those of you who might also want to download the brochure from our website, you can also do that, okay, by simply going to 10alytics.io. Okay, you go to 10alytics.io, and then you can select from the different programs that we have to offer. So like you can see, we're currently running the discount at the moment until the discount is no longer available. So if I want to join business analysis, for example, I click on view course. That takes me to business analysis, and I can download the brochure from here. I click on download brochure, and it takes me to the business analysis brochure, and I'll see every single thing I'll be learning when I join the business analysis program. For example, your Microsoft Excel, Power BI, SQL, project initiation planning. What would I learn in project initiation planning? You learn different areas with regards to what a stakeholder would need, how to identify them, the RACI matrix, Agile essentials, the different project management methodologies from Agile to Waterfall to Scrum, and so on and so forth, the software development lifecycle. So you'd see all the details of the program, okay? And from there, you can also make payments if you want to also make payments. However, for you to make payments on the platform, on the website, you'd have to sign in, and then you can only make payments using Paystack. But using the link we're going to provide to you, which you would have on the slide, you can make payments using different currencies and denominations as flexible as you want. All right, so we're going to take questions. If you have questions to take, but I'm not sure we have anybody's hand raised. I think I saw somebody's hand earlier, but the person has dropped. So if you have questions, please feel free, use the raise hand icon, and then we'll take the questions that you have. And while we're waiting for your questions, I'm just quickly going to walk you through. Now, for people who have gone through the program itself, they've been a part of the program. You've seen a couple of them come to share their experience with you. One of the things that shows how successful we have been over the last few years is the ability to help people get jobs, okay? To bridge the gap between the classroom and getting a job. Just like Sunday joined our program, the data science program. And while he was still in the program, he got the job as a regulatory data analyst in the UK. All right. And this is Sunday sending a message to one of the data associates saying that I got the contract offer yesterday. Okay, I got a contract offer yesterday, and yes, he has been hired. I wrote Sunday's reference for him. The organization reached out to me via email, and I had to fill his reference form. And that's one of the most important aspects in the recruitment exercise. So you really are not employed or working with that company until they have validated your references. And that's why you need somebody who would provide that reference for you to say that I can vouch for your character. I've worked with you. These are the skills you have, and you can definitely apply those skills to help them solve problems. So this is Sunday getting a job in the UK. You have Nathaniel as well. Nathaniel joined the full stack data science program as well, and today works as a data scientist with the largest privately owned pharmaceutical research company in Barcelona, right? And of course, he went through the process of interview preparation with one of our data associates, and he was sending him a message when he got the positive feedback saying that I got the job, man. I got the confirmation. Thank you so much for your help. He was thanking Mohammed, who was the data associate that worked with him to ensure that he was well prepared for that interview. He works in Spain today as a data scientist with the largest privately owned pharmaceutical company in Barcelona. We have Amaka. Amaka joined the program in January. She currently works as a business support analyst in the UK, one of the councils in the UK, after joining our data analytics program. And Amaka is doing amazingly well. I know Amaka's journey because before Amaka joined, just like so many other people, they reached out to say, oh, I'm not sure what I should join. Should I join this or join that? And I advised her to go for the data analytics. And today she works with one of the councils here in the UK as a business support analyst. You have Adesola. Desola is also, I'll tell you Desola's story. Now, we had a mentorship session. We have a mentorship session currently ongoing at the moment. So we had a similar mentorship session in the evening. And during the mentorship session, Desola mentioned that she has an interview the data associates have helped her to prepare, and she has come up with her presentation. However, she would love me to look at the presentation for her. And I told her, no problem, send it to me, let me have a look. So she sent the presentation to me, and you can see the conversation. Hi, Adeza, I've just shared my presentation. I looked at it and I gave her my feedback. Look, your presentation looks good. Just ensure that you stick to the time limits given to you. And the next message she was sending to me was, thank you, Adeza. I'm pleased to inform you that I've gotten the job with the NHS here in the UK. And of course, we had a conversation afterwards, and I'll tell you something very interesting that Desola told me, which is she asked for feedback after the interview, and they told her categorically that the role was open to both internal and external participants. Okay, so I beg your pardon, internal and external candidates. Now, for the internal candidates, you had employees already working with the NHS. They also got to apply to that role, the business analyst role, and they had other people that applied externally. Desola happened to be one of those who applied externally. In terms of the business analysis questions and the skill sets asked during the interview exercise, Desola was the best, 100%. She was told this categorically, that when it comes to the questions asked with regards to business analysis, she was the best. However, questions related to the NHS, so NHS-related questions, she wasn't the best. She answered the questions very well, but she wasn't the best. So that was the feedback they gave her. And she was super excited. And of course, when they needed a reference, they sent me the reference. She reached out to me to say, hi, Adeza, the reference has been sent. Please check. I looked at it. I filled the reference for her. And Desola currently works with the NHS here in the UK as a business analyst. And then you have Benga. Benga's story, I could spend all day here today talking about different people's stories, but I wouldn't want to take all your time because you'd get the slides and you'd have the opportunity to also go through them, read the different stories. You have videos in there as well, talking about where people talked about their experience. Benga is in Poland, all right? He currently works as a business data analyst. Something about Benga's story that would resonate with so many people is since 2021, Benga had been trying to transition and get a job in Poland, but he got rejections left and right. And he could identify that the reason why he was getting rejections was because he had no understanding of Tableau. He decided to register with us. I prepared him for one of his interviews, and you had our data associates also prepare him for the several other interviews that he had after joining us. Now, Benga got a job, but that's not the interesting part. The interesting part is he got 3 more offers. Apart from the job he eventually decided to go for, he had 3 extra offers that were waiting. And of course, he went for the one that gave him the best remuneration, opportunity to work hybrid, work from home, and so on and so forth. And he was super, super excited. And this was Benga telling me, boss, I got the job. He was very happy. I want to say I appreciate this opportunity that you gave to me. I didn't give him the opportunity. He decided to take, the step by registering. And that was what I was telling him, that, hi, Benga, look, the pleasure is all mine. However, congratulations. You took the leap to joining 10Alytics to learn with us. Okay. And you have Steven. Steven used to work as a customer experience analyst with Tesco, currently works as a junior data analyst in the UK after completing our data analytics. Whistling works with Shell in the UK after completing our data analytics program. You have Emeka working with Western Union headquarters. You have Olugbemi working as a business data analyst in Canada after joining our data analytics program. Olugbemi's story is also very interesting. So please listen to Olugbemi when you get the slides at the end of the session. You have Uthman, who was fresh out of the university, also working as a business intelligence officer after completing our data analytics program. You have Ubong, who works with Cognizant in the UK as a data analyst after completing the full stack data science program and the data analytics program. You have Idris, who works with Jaguar Land Rover everybody wants to drive a Range. You want to drive a Range Rover. Idris works with Jaguar Land Rover in the UK, in Coventry here in the UK, as a data engineer after completing our data science program. You have Chizoba, who also works with the NHS as a data engineer after completing our data engineering program. You have Ebube with the NHS. Ebube is simply saying that my first proper job in the UK after 10Alytics training. And for those in the UK, you'd understand what that means. It's bloody out there in terms of, you know, trying to keep to the bills you have to pay. You have so many responsibilities, so many commitments. However, the money you make as a student or as a dependent sometimes might not be adequate to fulfill or meet your expenses. Now, Ebube was able to get a job with the NHS after completing our full stack data science program, and she currently works with the NHS as a data scientist. You have Abdul Rashid, who works remotely from Nigeria in Ilorin, working as a data scientist with Chow 420 in the US, earning in dollars, spending in Naira. You have Victor, who also works remotely from Nigeria, from Lagos, Nigeria, works with Hugo in Chicago, Illinois, in the US, as a people operations analyst after completing our HR analytics program. You have Maureen, who works with Telos, a telecoms company in Canada, as a HR data analyst after joining our HR analytics program. You have Thelma, who is also a HR analyst in the UK after joining our program. You have Rafiat, working as a business analyst after joining our business analysis program. And of course, you have Solomon. Solomon came up to speak today. You all heard from Solomon, all right? Solomon works as a financial analyst after completing our program. You have Victor, also working as a financial analyst. You have Bumi, also working as a financial analyst after completing our program. Afolabi as well. And then you have Matthew, who works in the UK after completing our Power Platform program. So across all the programs, you have people who have joined and they've gotten value and they've been able to make that switch, make the transition. You have so many other success stories. Listen to Sheila, who joined from Ghana, for our Ghanaian tech bro and Texas who would want to, you know, dive into tech. Listen to Sheila, listen to Mayowa, Adebola, Ifoma, all the fantastic people who have been a part of the program and they've been able to get immense value, right? So like I said, for the discount for the month of September, so we have cohorts running from January to the end of the year. So every new month, we have a new cohort, okay? So for the cohort starting in September, would start on the 2nd of September, and this is the best time for you to be a part of the program. Zolak is asking, do you offer business intelligence? If yes, how much is the fee? Now, Zolak, the question is, what is business intelligence and what does it entail? Business intelligence is a subset of data analytics, all right? And business intelligence covers mainly a BI tool, a business intelligence tool like Power BI or Tableau and SQL. So as a business intelligence analyst, you need the following key skills just to a BI skill, a BI tool like Power BI or Tableau, and SQL, SQL, structured query language. If you're very good with these two tools, you can get a job as a BI analyst anywhere, all right? So, what's this? Oh, Zolak, I think you sent something to me. So like I said, business intelligence is what I've just explained. To get a job as a business intelligence officer, you need Power BI and you need what? SQL. Okay, Power BI or Tableau as a BI tool and SQL. All the things you sent, Zolak. So Zolak is sending it directly to my message. So it's not general and you can't see what he's sending. So Zolak, let me break it down for you. And this is where we don't want you to get confused by information overload, especially when you go online, all right? So Zolak, you've sent Microsoft Power BI, data analysis, data visualization, data modeling. These are all these are things you do in Power BI. You'd model data in Power BI. You'd visualize your data in Power BI. All right, SQL, MySQL, they're all the same thing. What is MySQL? MySQL is simply the database management system, the application that you use to run your SQL queries. If you want to create a presentation, you use Microsoft PowerPoint. If you want to write a document, you use Microsoft Word. If you want to write SQL queries, you can use MySQL, you can use PostgreSQL, and so many other database management systems, okay? So SQL and MySQL are not two different things. SQL is the language. MySQL is the application that would enable you run that language, all right? So don't get yourself confused. Zolak, my advice to you, you want to be a BI analyst, all you need to do is join our data analytics program, okay? And you can also see that from Uthman, who joined the data analytics program and today works as a business intelligence officer with the NHS. And I'll tell you what Uthman's story was like. Fresh out of the university, he joined our program sometime last year. His elder brother joined a free masterclass like this and sent him the details, paid for him, he joined the program. When it was time for his interview, he sent the case study that was given to him to solve and present. I looked at the case study. It was so simple that I told Uthman to take it back and solve it. After solving, he should show me what he has solved so that I could give him my feedback. He went back and he solved about 95% of the case study. And I just corrected a few things here and there. He went to do his presentation. He did very well. And the next thing, he got a job as a BI analyst. Now, guess what? His assessment, the assessment he was given in the NHS was 100% Excel, Microsoft Excel. He wasn't given any questions on Power BI, any questions on SQL, any questions on data visualization or anything like that. No, it was 100% Excel. That case study that he was given, we converted it into a project and we use it internally to help other people to also prepare for their interviews, especially when they have one with the NHS. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. Damilola, I don't know if we have more questions that would love to answer. Somebody's saying I didn't see the stated fee for the programs. Okay, so I'll just go back to that. And I would love to get more questions around the different programs that we have. Okay, so if you're joining data analytics, business analysis, data science, financial analytics, HR analytics, or Power Platform, they're all the same program fees, the same amount. The discounted fee, if you're paying in Canadian pounds, it's in Canadian dollars, I beg your pardon, is 500 Canadian dollars. If you're paying in Naira, it's 270,000 Naira. And if you're paying in pounds, it's 300 pounds. And you can pay in, 2 installments. The first installment of either 350 Canadian dollars or 180,000 Naira or 200 pounds. And you make the balance payment 1 month after the program commences. So program starts on the 2nd of September. You make the balance payment on the 2nd of October. Okay. Now, Arenike is saying, if I want to pay in dollars? Arenike, what I'll just simply say is you click on the link for the pound payment and you get the automatic conversion. All right, you get the automatic conversion. So 300 pounds in dollars should roughly be is less than $400, close to that, but less than $400. So for those paying in dollars, what we advise you to do, you can use the Canadian dollars option to pay, or you can use the pounds option to pay. Or if you have a Naira card, for example, you can also make payments using the Naira option. So these are the 3 payment options we have, irrespective of where you are. You can also get to make payments. Which is preferred between data analytics and financial analytics for somebody with extensive experience in banking? That's from Shegun. Again, the preference, or I would say that comes from you, Shegun. You will decide what you want to do. Okay. Now, the major difference between, or the only difference between the financial analytics and data analytics is the financial analytics is tailored towards financial related data. All right. You'd understand the language of business, which is accounting and finance. You'd know how to build a financial model. You'd know how to value a business. You can carry out sensitivity and scenario analysis, and so on and so forth. I'm a data analyst, for example. I can do fantastic stuff with data using different tools. However, I can build a financial model, but not as, experienced or as detailed as a financial analytics professional. Okay, so as a financial analytics professional, you are tailored towards a particular, industry, which is regarding the financial related data, which is different from a data analyst. A data analyst would work with different types of data, project management data, health related data, business related data, and so on and so forth. All right. Now, if you want to, in terms of job opportunities, there are similar job opportunities across the different programs. Okay. So all the things you would learn in data analytics, you'd learn as a financial analyst, except Tableau. Tableau is the difference. Okay. So again, it all depends on where you'd want to focus on. You want to learn accounting fundamentals, you want to learn valuation, how to build financial models, then you'll be looking towards financial analytics. You want to know how to get data, analyze the data, come up with insights, tell the business that this is what we need to do based on what has happened in the last few months or the last few years. These are the areas where we have issues. And I think these are the recommendations you'll be proffering to that particular company. That's a data analyst. I love the job of a data analyst because I love to be at the forefront telling the business what to do, which is data driven. So this is not sentiment. It's not based on what I feel or how I feel. It's based on what the data says. I give my recommendations and the key stakeholders will then decide, all right, based on what you have recommended to us, we're going to implement 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see what comes out of that. And then we move to the next level of implementation. Okay. There are more testimonies on data analytics than business analysis. Does it mean there are more job opportunities for data analysts than business analysts? The answer is no, iPhone 6 Plus. All right. The direct answer to that is no. Okay. Now, it could also be region specific. And I'll tell you this, for if you're in Canada or you're in the US, you have a higher chance of getting a job as a business analyst than somewhere else. Okay. The jobs are globally available in terms of global demand. And I'll give you a few statistics. In the next, between now and 2030, you'd have a shortage of 85 million roles across the globe. A job shortage of 85 million roles within the tech ecosystem. So in terms of demand, the demand cannot even be filled because you don't have enough resources in terms of human capacity to fill those roles. However, in Canada, business analysts, for example, if you're a business analyst, there's a higher chance because there's a higher demand for business analysts in Canada. So there's a higher chance that you would get a lot of interview opportunities. And if you get maybe 5 business analyst interviews, you might get 2, 3 data analyst interviews, and for other roles like that, simply because of the demand. But we can't put all the different programs, everybody that has gotten jobs, we put everybody on the slides. That's, practically impossible. We've helped close to 1,000 people get jobs since the year 2020 up until today. About 3 years helping people get jobs in the tech ecosystem, right? So data analytics, business analysis, every organization would want to have them. Same with financial analysts, HR analysts, Power Platform engineers, and data engineers. Data engineering, for example, let me surprise you. There is no single day that goes by where we don't get requests for data engineers. Here in the UK, hello Adeza, can you recommend somebody who can start as a data engineer? All right. And about 3 weeks ago, I also got requests from Nigeria. Okay, one of my previous an organization I worked with before in the past, they reached out to me to say, we're trying to get two data engineers. All right. And I did not respond on time. And after 2 weeks, they reached out to me again to say that we still have not gotten anybody to fill those roles. Do you have somebody you want to recommend? And I recommended 2 people to them. So the job for a data engineer, for example, is so high in demand that if you have the skill today, the tendency that you get a job almost instantly is so high. And even the job in Nigeria, with the fact that people are complaining that there are no jobs in Nigeria, those 2 openings that were available were between 850 to 1 million. Okay, that was the average they were looking at, somebody who would be willing to start. Well, for some, it might not be so high, but I'll tell you for a fact that for somebody starting, you're starting your journey as a data engineer and you're earning 850 to 1 million naira in Nigeria, that's not a very bad place to start. Okay. All right. AI is taking over by 2035, 2040. What 10Alytics offering is our future? Absolutely, FA. And these are some of the reasons. Our major goal, the goal for us at 10Alytics is to get as many Africans and people of the Black community into tech. Now, you have India, you have China currently investing over $5 billion just to develop their AI capabilities across the tech ecosystem. You have the UK focusing on quantum computing, AI, and this is a global trend across the globe. Now, when you move into these organizations across the major economies in Nigeria, in the UK, in Canada, in the US, and most of these companies that myself, the co-founder of 10Alytics, if his name is Ife as well, we don't get to see people that look like myself. I don't get to see Black people of the Black community, holding roles as a data analyst or data scientist or data engineers in these different companies. You'd find the Indians dominating the space. And that's the focus for us, Ife, which is to bring as many Africans and people of the Black community into tech, so that in the year 2035, 2040, like you said, when Nigerians would also stand to be counted when it comes to the capacity to do things with regards to AI, machine learning, and so on and so forth. Okay, so we'll keep on answering the questions in the chat, but I think we'll be rounding off in a few minutes. Damilola, I don't know if there's anything else you want to share. Okay, so I can see a question, Damilola. Let me take this question. It was also sent to me directly. This is from Aduke Faye. I would like to join the September cohort, but I have an event to anchor on the 2nd of September. What happens if I miss this class? So that's the beauty of what we offer. And I'll show you very quickly, Aduke. Now, the beauty, one of the things I would say, few advantages that came with COVID, the COVID lockdown, and some of its resultant effects is the acceleration of remote working and remote learning. Now you have the opportunity to sit at the comfort of your home and learn from the best in the business. Now, one of the other things you get when you join our program is you have the opportunity to always go back to whatever class you've held in the past, that has held in the past. So let's assume, and this is the platform, Aduke. So let's assume you join the business analysis, for example. Okay, so this is the business analysis class. I'm just going to maximize a bit. This is a business analysis class for August. You can see that cohort 2023, 08 for August. I'm going to open up this class and let's see what the business analysis class looks like. Every class is segmented into 2. the business analysis, you have the EU for those in Nigeria, for those in the UK, across Europe, because they fall within the same time zone. And then you have the business analysis NA for North America, for those in the US, in Canada, and across similar time zones. Now, the business analysis EU, if you have a class on Saturday, what happens? You miss that class. You haven't missed anything, Aduke. Why? Because everything that was done in class will be recorded. The class is recorded. So this is the very first Excel class for business analysis for the August cohorts. You have the class materials, which shows you the different materials that was used in class, the case study. This was the case study, for example. It was a marketing campaign analysis that was done in class on Saturday for the business analysis program. You can see the background to the case study. You have the data dictionary, and then you have the tailored analysis, which would show you what exactly you need to do. You have the materials, you have the login details, but somebody like Aduke has an event and would likely miss this class. So what happens? You have your class recording, okay? So all you have to do, Aduke, is come back to your platform, go to that class for that day that you missed, access the class recording. I'm just going to click on this, and you'd watch every single thing that happened in class from start till finish. And that's not just the beauty. Another beauty is you have the opportunity to also share your questions in your WhatsApp group. So you've watched the recording, but there are a couple of areas you really did not understand while watching the recording. You have your WhatsApp group, and you get to ask questions in the WhatsApp group. Okay, so this is the video, for example. It's going to start playing in a few seconds. So you get to watch your class recording. You have access to all the materials used in class on that day. So this is the Microsoft Excel class 1 for Power BI. The class 2 as well, you have your case study, the class material. You see the case study, which was a different case study from day 1. This is the Sunshine Results case study. This,
my recording is on. I just wanted to get that on this. All right, so a brief introduction of who I am. My name is.
All right, so the video is playing now. All right, so this is the video for the business analysis. So you get to watch every single thing that was done in class on that day. All right, so Aduke, you don't miss anything in class. You don't miss anything, even if you miss a class, because you have access to the recording. The second case study, you have everything you need in there, the class materials, you have the class recording, you know, and so on and so forth. You have the mentorship sessions, which are also recorded. So you are busy during the week. You couldn't join the mentorship session when it happened. You have the recording, so you don't miss anything. For example, the mentorship session today, we have a senior consultant from Deloitte who works in Bermuda. Okay, he used to work in Nigeria, but moved to Bermuda to work for Deloitte as a senior risk consultant. So he's the one coming in today to mentor the participants. So imagine missing that session. You would beat yourself, you know, for that whole year. All right. But what happens? You don't miss anything eventually because you have the session recording. All you have to do is come to the platform. You have access to the recording, and you get to relive every single thing that was done on that day. You have your CV review session. You can see that in here. The Power BI class 1, class 2, the Power BI bonus case studies. You have your case study presentation. Okay, because one of the skills of a data analyst, of a business analyst, of a HR analyst is the ability to communicate. Some people are scared, or they have stage fright. They can't speak, you know, in the midst of 100 people or even 2 people. So how do you develop your communication skills? You have presentation sessions where you get to work together in groups to present different problems you've solved together in that group. Okay, so you have those case study presentations, and if you have an interview, for example, you have where to schedule your interview. So all you have to do is come here, click on the link, you select a date for your interview. So let's assume I have an interview next week, Wednesday. So I come here, I select a date on Tuesday, 22nd, 4:30 is the time that is available. I click on 4:30, click on next. I enter my name, enter my email, enter the details of the interview that I have, and I click on schedule event. So what happens? I'll get an automated calendar invite into my email, and then I have my interview preparation session, and I go into that interview with all the confidence that I need to get the job. All right. So I think I've answered the questions we have in the chat. I already took a screenshot from Adeza's slide. iPhone is saying that's okay. I hope I answered your question, Aduke. So you don't miss any class, although we always tell you, and let me mention this very quickly. It is important that you don't miss too many classes, because the moment you miss one class, in fact, if you miss 3 classes, we raise a red flag, all right? Because missing up to 3 classes, especially back to back, what happens is you lose track of so many things that would have happened. Okay, so we advise against missing classes because the program is immersive. You have to immerse yourself into the program. You have to contribute. You have to present. You have to work on your case studies. You have to solve your projects, build a portfolio, because that's what would, serve as your work experience at the end of your program. Okay. Absolutely. It's lifetime access, Shegun. Okay, so some of the questions are coming directly. So Damilola and Brima, you might not see the questions, but they're sending it to me directly. I don't know why. So Shegun just said, thanks for this opportunity, but please, will this platform, will it still be available even after we finish? Absolutely. So you have lifetime access, Shegun, to your classes. Okay, if I move to any of the other programs, this is HR Analytics. All right, the August cohort for HR Analytics, and all through from January, all the programs we offer, they're all here. You get to be a part of the program. You have made payments to join. Okay, and you have access to your materials. You have access to your recordings for reference. You can download your recordings, your class recordings, your class projects. You have access to them for life. Okay, so this is the data engineering. You can see they have an assignment which is due tomorrow on Friday. Let's see data engineering and see what they've done so far. This is the August cohort for data engineering. Click on classwork. And of course, you can see where to, schedule your interview as well. We have a hashtag we are currently driving, which is called 90 days of consistency. And let me explain what this means. When you join the program, this is a public declaration that you're going to make. Okay, you're going to tell the world that you are starting your journey, a 90 days journey, learning the program you've registered for. Now, what does that do for you? Putting out a public declaration would keep you accountable. All right, so you share your experience. Day 1, I've learned how to use ABC. Day 2, I now know how to build, I now know how to use the if function to, solve problems. Day 3, I now know the difference between data analytics and business intelligence. Day 4, I now know how to create a linear regression model. So every day, the 90 days of consistency is simply for you to track your progress from when you start day 1 until you complete in day 90. Okay, so this is the data engineering class. You have your welcome kit that contains every single thing that you need to be on the program. So the person asking, oh, Python Anaconda. Python is a language. Anaconda is a distribution that has IDEs for you to write your Python program. Okay, so if you install Anaconda, for example, you're going to have your Jupyter notebook, you'd have Spider, you'd have so many other, tools within Anaconda that you can leverage to write your Python codes and so many other things. Okay, so the very first class for data engineering is Intro to Data Engineering Class 1. All right. And then, of course, like we always say, if you miss the class, you have the recording. You can always go back to the recording, and you have lifetime access to these classes. Maureen, told you, Maureen. Yes, you can. You can do that, Maureen. I've seen your message and I hope you get my response as well. Yes, you can. You can make your payments, Maureen. Okay. Somebody's saying, but I work Saturday and Sunday. I'm so sorry, Uchenna. If you work Saturday and Sunday, then this program is not for you. Okay, because I'll be very upfront and direct with you. You can't miss classes and only have to deal with the recording. That would not be favoring you at the end. You would just be spending your money and you won't get all the value that you should get, because you need to interact with your trainers. You need to interact with your facilitators. You need to solve problems together at some point. So if you miss a couple of classes, a few, it's fine. We know you're busy professionals and you might miss 1, 2, 3 classes, but then you go back to watch the recording. But if you work every weekend, Saturdays and Sundays, then the program is not for you, Uchenna. I'm so sorry about that. I do apologize. All right. When we start offering programs during the week, we'll definitely, you'll be the first person to know, Uchenna. Okay, so I think we've done well to have, at least I've answered the questions I can see from my own end. If I've missed out on anything, Damilola, please. What times on Saturdays and Sundays? So Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And on Sundays, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. But not all the programs have classes on Saturdays and Sundays. The programs that have classes on Saturdays and also have classes on Sundays are data engineering, Power Platform, and business analysis. Okay. For data analytics, data science, HR analytics, and financial analytics, you only have your live class on Saturday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. You have your live, when I say live session, it means you would see Adeza on the call and Adeza would work with you to solve projects. You can ask me questions. I'll show you concepts. We have an interaction, okay? On Sundays, you'd get the Watch Me Do It videos. So the Watch Me Do It videos are bite-sized recordings where you would watch them and do the things you see in the video. So on Sunday, it's flexible. You can watch the videos at your own convenience. If you want to watch in the morning, fine. If you go to church, you want to watch it later in the afternoon, fine. You want to watch in the evening, fine. You want to watch it on Monday, it's up to you. But you need to watch the Watch Me Do It video before your next live class the following Saturday. All right. So the programs where you have live class on Saturday, live class on Sunday, data engineering, business analysis, and Power Platform. For those 3 programs, you have classes, live classes on Saturdays, live classes on Sundays. And on Saturdays is 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Sundays, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. I hope I answered your question for the gentleman that asked. Joyce has a question. So Joyce, I'm going to ask you to unmute yourself. So go ahead and ask your question, Joyce.
Hello, good evening, everyone. So I'd been asking the question, when is the deadline, please, for making payments for those who joined the masterclass? I mean, the discounted fee. I just want to know that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for that question, Joyce. So like I said, we've been holding sessions from, I think, since last week or 2 weeks ago. We do this every month leading to the main program starting on the 2nd of September. So for this particular session where you have the participants come to share their experience, we're going to move the deadline to next week, the 25th, 26th, if I'm correct. Next week, Friday, next week, Thursday, I beg your pardon, 24th. Okay, so the end of the discount would have been on the 18th. Please just give me 1 second. I need to share. I just need to confirm that, Joyce. Okay. All right, so the discounts would have ended tomorrow on the 18th of August. But we're going to extend it by 1 week. So it would end on the 25th of August. All right. So if you've joined this session, and we have the attendance for this session, if you've joined this session and you want to be a part of the program, then and take advantage of the discount, then you can make payments between now and the 25th of August to be a part of the program. I hope that answers your question, Joyce. We have classes, we have new cohorts starting every single month from now till December. Emmanuel, we started in January 26th, we have the very first class, February 26th as well, March, April, May, June, July. August started on the 5th of August. September starts on the 2nd of September. We have another cohort in October, November, and December. The only difference is the discounts would not be available in those subsequent months. So if you want to join in November, for example, or join in December, take advantage of the discount today. If you want to take advantage of the discount to be a part of the program, all right? So you take advantage of the discounts so that you pay and register, and then you defer your payments to the subsequent month. So if you are busy in September, for example, you make payments and then you defer your program to October or November. You can do that. All right, I think I answered that question as well. Okay.
Okay, Adeza, I think
Yes.
Riba is trying to ask a question because
Okay.
person is just sending emoji, like raised an emoji, but Riba, do you have a question?
I can't see Riba's question. So Riba, if you can send the question again, then I'll be able to take that question. How do you defer? Very simple, Idris. So once you make payments and you upload your payments, you'd see the option to select when you want to start. You can't defer beyond 2 months. And what that means is if you pay for the September cohort, for example, you can defer to October or November. You can't pay now and defer till December. Okay, so I'm just quickly going to see if I can share that again. If you can unmute Riba, I think Riba is saying unmute me, Damilola. Okay. All right, so I'm just quickly going to show you. Yes, time is fast spent and we should be wrapping up anytime from now. I just want to show very quickly what you need to do. Okay, so once you click on the link to make payments, let me see my screen. Can you see the payment screen, Damilola? All right, so once you've made payments, Idris, and you want to defer, once you come here to upload your receipts, it takes you into this form, and all you have to do is enter your details. So if I enter my email, for example, Adeza, okay, I enter my email, I enter my name, I enter my surname, gender, I select my gender, male, type of payment, part payment. Let's assume I make an initial payment. I click on next. I click on, I have read, I click on next. Okay, so here, I'll have to select a date. I'll just select a random date, mode of payments, PayPal. You upload, although I can't upload anything now, but the moment you upload, and then you select the program you registered for. So once you upload a file, you select the program you registered for, data analytics, and you click on next. You'd see when do you want to start. Okay, you can select October, you can select November, and you can start to defer. You defer your program till then. If you want to start in September, you also select September. Okay, so that was what I needed to show you, Idris. Stephen, if you are still in doubt between data analytics and business analysis, it's fine. We're going to have clarity sessions next week, Tuesday, if I'm correct, Damilola. Next week, Tuesday, we'll have clarity sessions. Yeah. So if you're in the WhatsApp group, and you want to be a part of the clarity session, all you have to do is, once you see the link to indicate your interest for a clarity session, I'll be there. So you have the opportunity to ask me questions. I'll be there to take your questions and also help you clarify some of those areas where you want clarity. So, business analysis, data analytics, I'm not sure. So we can sit down and have a more relaxed conversation, okay? Because we're about to end this session now, and we don't want to prolong it longer than necessary. All right. I think I answered the questions. Oh, yes, go ahead, Reba.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Adiza. Thank you, Dami. Thank you, everybody on this crew. It's my second time of joining your masterclass, and I must say this, I regret not joining you guys since last year. Maybe because I had low fun, but this year I'm having more fun to pay for your classes. Okay, thank you, bro. I'm just a newly chartered accountant, and having a dream to Japan, to Canada, or to UK. But I haven't gone through your everything yet. My wife and I registered this week or last week. I paid last week, 540. But with what I'm seeing, my wife will have to speak to a professional because I don't think she can take coding. I put in for both of us for full stack engineering. But this is my question here tonight for me, because I don't know for her. She's not here with me. Okay. I put in for full stack science, data science, whatever. Okay. And I'm not seeing data engineering. Say, I want to understand the college because I would like to go for the two before I start searching for job or whatever. I'm a trained accountant, chartered. I'm good at what I do, but I just want to change. I feel I should go into tech. So I want to know that line between what is in stock for me if I take full stack and data engineering. Maybe after I'm done with full stack and then I come for data engineering. Or is there anything I will have to add to it in your curriculum, in your courses? So that is my question tonight, sir. Thank you.
All right, very good question, Reba. And I also like the fact that you said you've made payment to be a part of the program, and you also want to start with one, okay, and not to learn the two at once, because that would be practically impossible, okay? You can't do the two programs at once. You start with one and then you move into the other. Now, the full stack data science is a fantastic career path, especially with the fact that you are moving to Canada. Okay, so yes, you're an accountant, but I'll tell you for a fact that yes, accounting is a good profession to also have moving to Canada. However, the tech skills are the ones that will give you the job the fastest. Okay, so it's a good choice, a good route you've decided to take. For the full stack data science, by the time you complete your program, you've learned statistics, you've learned how to build machine learning models, you can carry out exploratory data analysis using Python, you can write queries to query data from a database, you know how to use Tableau as well as Excel. Moving to data engineering, the combination of data science and data engineering, you can then go ahead and to look for jobs as a machine learning engineer, okay, or an AI data engineer. However, while you are thinking of registering for the data engineering program, I'll tell you for a fact that the full stack data science itself would give you access to numerous jobs available out there. Numerous jobs. And my advice is always, when you start with the full stack data science, you complete the program, the next line of action is getting a job. And once you've done that, you are earning some income, you are stable, you start to earn and extract value from the skills that you've gotten, from the investment that you've made. You then start to learn a new program entirely, which is the full stack data science. That combination is fantastic. It's a logical progression. Ideally, if you complete the full stack data science and you ask for recommendation, what do I learn next? Would recommend you to go for the data engineering program, which you've already mentioned already. So that gives you the combination of the two. You have machine learning experience, you have machine learning skills, you know how to use the data analytic tools like Excel, SQL, Tableau to perform predictive analytics, in addition to the ability to move data from one location to another location, create data pipelines. You can apply to jobs that are very scarce to find talents. okay, like machine learning engineering, AI data engineer. All right, that's a data engineer that also has the skills of machine learning. Okay, so I think it's a fantastic path you're about to tread at the moment, Reba, and I think it's a good way to go. But of course, you can't start by learning the two. You start with one. Once you're done, then you can move up to learn the other one. I hope that answers your question, Reba. Oh, I think Reba is muted.
Thank you very much, Adiza. One more. What is the highest level? See, I just want to tell you my mind. I think I've gotten to the highest level of my accounting profession. I actually look forward to become a CFO, and I am one already. So that is why I'm transiting to something else. So at this level, because I'm a go-getter. Whatever I push for, I go get it. What is the highest level I could be in this profession as a full stack data science professional?
Okay. All right. Very good question, Reba. So again, the highest level you can get to is to probably be the CDO or a CTO. All right. So a CDO is a chief data officer, or the chief technology officer or technical officer, depending on what some organizations would call it. All right. Or the CIO. Okay. So these three roles, the CIO, the CTO, or the CDO, most likely the CDO. Now, it really doesn't matter what career path you've decided to follow. Okay, you could be a data analyst and get to a CDO level. You could be a data engineer and get to that level. You could be a data scientist and get to that level. What would get you there is experience. Okay, your experience. So you start, you've learned the skills, you can then get a job, apply your skills in that job, and you move through the ranks until you get to that level of the chief data officer within the company. Okay, so again, you would see somebody who has, I'll give a typical example. You'd see somebody who has no PhD, okay, but has over 10 years experience or 15 years experience within the space, working at the highest level in an organization as a chief data officer, a C-suite level where you are interacting with all the other chiefs within that company to define the strategy, the data strategy of that company, and so on and so forth. You could have another person, another individual who even has a PhD. He has all the skills in terms of ML, machine learning, data engineering, but cannot fulfill that role of a chief data officer without the experience of actually implementing different data strategies, implementing different systems within the company itself. All right. So the highest level to get there is all about experience. The more experience you have, especially the diversity of your experience, will get you to that level. Another way to also get there as fast as you can, depending on the type of person that you are. Okay, and I say this because some people like stability, while some people also like to move. And the faster you move, in my opinion, the higher you get. So what that simply means is you can change 2-3 jobs in a year, and you get to a senior level a lot faster than somebody who remains in a single organization. Okay. And I always advise people to do that, especially for those who are getting started newly. Get the first job. Don't bother yourself too much about, some people want to get sponsored jobs right off the bat. Their very first job, they want it to be a sponsored job, especially for those in the UK. But I always tell them, look, that's not the focus. The focus is to get a job now, and then you can switch. Once you get that one job, it's easy for you to switch, and it's faster for you to climb through the ranks. Experience is what gives you the highest level at the end of the day, Reba. Does that answer your question, Reba?
Thank you very much, Adiza. God bless you.
All right,
I look forward
too.
to joining you guys in the class.
We look forward to having you, Reba. Okay, I think we'll take our last question for today, except Brahma has something else to tell us, and that'll be from Mercy. So Mercy, please go ahead and ask a question, please.
Hey, Adiza. It's Precious. So, how are you? From March.
Precious. Precious, how are you doing?
Okay, I had to join the session because we want to speak to you, but you're not responding to our mail, and I sent you a message on WhatsApp, was it yesterday? And I think Josephine sent you a mail on Tuesday or Monday, I don't know. So we also sent one today. So please check your mail.
So Precious came all the way to the. I'll tell you why Precious is harassing me. All right, Precious, no problem. I'll check.
I can get to you.
I saw your mails. I saw them coming yesterday. I haven't responded, I know, but I'll respond this evening. Okay? I'll respond this evening. I'll also check for your message as well. You're welcome, Precious. Okay. So for those asking why Precious is harassing me, Precious and our team are working on a project. It's a group project called Project X. Okay? And if you could spare me maybe 2 minutes, I'll show you a glimpse of what the project looks like. So Project X is a project that we are currently solving for a real company in the UK. They have a problem. They want us to solve that problem for them. So what we've done is I told the founder, the co-founder of the company, that would solve the problem for them without pro bono, free of charge. So we took the problem, we took the data, and then our participants from the March cohort, just like Precious that came to, say they've sent me an email, I haven't responded. So they are currently working on that particular case study for a real company, and we're going to provide recommendations to that company. Okay, so let's see what the project looks like very quickly, and I think we'll use that to wrap up our session for today. So it's one of the internship projects called Project X, like I mentioned, where we're helping a company in the UK to solve a problem that they currently have. And then we're going to provide a recommendation, we'll submit a report to them. Precious is working on that project as well with some other group members from the HR Analytics program. Okay, so Precious, I'll respond to your emails, and I'm working very closely with this team because of the sensitivity of the project that we have, and that's why we have drop-in sessions. You can see internship drop-in sessions with Adeza, and we're meant to meet tomorrow as well. I'll find time to schedule that meeting so that we can look at what you've done so far, and I'll provide my own feedback on that. So these are some of the things that you also stand to gain and benefit. You work for real companies, you work on real life case studies, real life problems for companies, and this is what would serve as your experience. So when they ask you questions around what have you done, how have you used data to solve a problem, you'd be able to speak confidently. I worked together in a team of analysts, and this was the project we worked on. We did ABC for this company, and these were our recommendations. You'll be speaking from the point of knowledge, not from the point of, theories and assumptions. Honorina is asking, so is it 100% sure you get a job after the training? It's 100%. The only difference is the timing. So, for example, we've shared a lot of testimonials from people that have gotten jobs. Some would get a job 2 months after the training. Some would get 3 months. Some would get 6 months, 8 months. It depends, okay, on your location, depends on the industry, depends on your focus areas and how much you apply yourself to the job search and the job application process, right? But being in tech, your skill is in high demand. And as long as you are looking to transition and get a job, you'd get a job eventually. Can you transition at the age of 50? Yes, you can, Peter. I mean, if you're trying to transition in Nigeria, it might be a little bit difficult because Nigerians really don't mind discriminating, especially when it comes to do with age. However, if you are looking to maybe work as a freelancer, get jobs remotely, then yes, you have an opportunity to do that. Or you are not in the country, you're not in Nigeria, for example, you are in one of the developed economies. Yes, nobody will discriminate you because of your age. You can apply to jobs You not see a job that would say we need people that are between the age of 26 to this or that. Anybody can apply to the role. Whoever, displays the competence and skills to solve the problems they'll give you during the assessment center would eventually get the job. Okay. So that's what I'll say, Peter. All right. 50, in my opinion, is still young. And I'll give you maybe we'll wrap up on this note, a very, I'd say a funny story. My dad, who retired in 2019, decided to start his own startup. Okay. And what happened? He needed to build so many applications. And he said, look, I think this is a good time for me to learn software development. And I was like, you can't learn software development at the age of 60. But he eventually decided to do it. And he learned and he built all his applications himself. And today he's been able to start his own, startup, even after retirement at the age of 60. So that's just on a lighter note. It really doesn't matter how old you are. You can eventually make the transition. But again, you need to apply yourself as much as you can. We'll call it a day at this point, and I'll just hand over to Brima to do the round. Brima started, so Brima would round off with us today. And for those who have decided to stay till this point in time, thank you very much for joining our masterclass. We deeply appreciate you being a part of us. Now, the only thing we want you to do is follow us across all our platforms on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, so that you also get the opportunity to see all the different initiatives that we have for you. Okay, we're going to have more free sessions. We're going to have more free masterclasses, and that's where you would easily get the notification to be a part of it. If you're also in our WhatsApp group, you'd get all those notifications as well to be in any of the upcoming sessions. We are just a stone throw away from you. Send us a message or reach out to us on any of our numbers and somebody would respond to you. All right? If you reach out to us on any of these numbers, somebody would respond to you. So Brima, I'll leave it up to you to round off our session for today. So thank you very much, guys. Shegun, we look forward to starting with you on Saturday, the 2nd of September. Cheers, guys. Until we see another masterclass. So over to you, Brima.
Okay, so thank you so much, Adeza. Thank you, Damilola. Thank you to everyone for staying. This is almost 4 hours on this call. So I would say a good evening at this point, and we look forward to having you in class for this coming cohort. So in case you do have questions or in case you have challenges, ensure you reach out. You remember our goal is to ensure that, okay, you have everything settled and you are ready to transition into tech. So have a lovely evening, everyone. And I best believe that we'll have us in this coming cohort. So can I get a good evening from us? I know we enjoyed ourselves in today's session. A good evening. So thank you, Damilola. A good evening, everyone. Okay, so have a good evening, everyone. So for those asking, so long you filled the attendance form, you get the slides and then you get the recording for this session, and then you can reach out to us via WhatsApp or any of our bills. So have a good evening.